The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, September 13th, 2021. And God, it feels good with real football to talk about yet again. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. This sports show on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show shall begin in beautiful fashion. And we want to let you know that as you watch the show today or listen to the show today, know that some things might be taken out of context later in the week, maybe even just tomorrow, because today is a day that all football fans are supposed to completely overreact about everything that happened to your favorite team just yesterday. Is your team leading the AFC South? Are you the Houston Texans? Ooh. Is your team leading the AFC East? Are you the Miami Dolphins? Oh. Is your team losing the NFC North while also being tied for first place in the NFC North? I'm talking about all four teams fucking losing yesterday. So much happened, and there's still so much of a season to be had, and teams are going to transform and mold from what they are today to what they'll be tomorrow to what they'll be 5 weeks from now. But we got to address everything we watched yesterday in the beautiful National Football League, and also talk about some shit that happened in college football. We have a massive, massive show with Darius Butler joining us in about 30 minutes, 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man Pod and everything DB, great friend of the show. He'll be joining us every Overreaction Monday for the rest of the season. Cannot wait to chat with him. Him and Dane Orlovsky are already in a little bit of already in a little bit of a scrap because Dane Orlovsky, friend of ours, friend of everybody's, the quarterback guru on ESPN. He and Darius Butler are teammates in college. Mm-hmm. So they've known each other a long, long time. Dan Orlovsky's obviously doing a lot to put over a lot of quarterbacks. Darius Butler said, hey, that was just terrible coverage, Dan. Fucking get over it, pal. All right, you had a win there. Do your thing. Can't wait to chat with him. Also, Clyde Christensen, quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, good friend of ours, will join us in the second hour. Mm-hmm. We'll ask them about their Thursday night win. And also, he's been coaching in the NFL a long time. What are the thoughts going into week 2? What can you take from week 1, especially if you're Tampa Bay and made a bunch of mistakes early and kind of shot themselves in the foot with turnovers and things like that? -3 turnover margin, still got to win. Not going to see that the rest of the weekend. Probably not going to see that the rest of the year, by the way. But not just for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but for every team. What is the message going forward? Does week 1 even matter? It can, I guess, if you let it roll into week 2, week 3, week 4, like the fucking Indianapolis Colts. I thought we had a great offensive line. Carson Wentz defended for his life. He was wishing that the rugby guy was blocking for him yet again after all the hits. He got hit 15 times yesterday, sacked 4 times. Carson Wentz in his Indianapolis Colts debut. I got a chance to hit the anvil. Okay, I was 3-0 going into games where I hit the anvil for the Indianapolis Colts, gave a little promo, talked a little shit about Russell Wilson. Had to, though. If I didn't do that, who the fuck am I? Not me. Hit the anvil, we're 3-0. We end up losing, making us 0-9 in our openers, I guess, since like 2013. There's a lot to talk about today, and I want to run around the room real quick to see how everybody's doing with their specific teams. At Tone Diggs, the COVID Cowboy, Pittsburgh Steelers go into Buffalo and get a massive win. Your thoughts on where the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now on this Overreaction Monday?
The Steel Curtain is alive and well. Potentially the greatest defense of all time. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Melvin Ingram. The blue-collar boys were buzzing. This season is for the steelworkers. It's going to be a great year.
Okay, I believe that what you said there is 100% accurate. Cam Hayward got 10 quarterback pressures in the middle of the defensive line. TJ Watt, 2 sacks, 1 strip sack, and then obviously Melvin Ingram joining the team. I forgot he was there. He's an absolute stud. That entire D-line is a game wrecker. They didn't even have to blitz, by the way. They just ran a bunch of stunts with their studs up front. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be fun to watch. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, I think you do have to be worried. There was some hesitancy coming from Josh Allen. Josh Allen against the Green Bay Packers in preseason looked exactly like he looked all last season. Letting it fly, letting it loose, ball going into tight windows, doing whatever. Against the Steelers, and maybe it's because of the stunt up front, maybe he wasn't as comfortable as everybody thought he was, or maybe he was, or thought he should be, and also maybe he wasn't as comfortable as he was last year. Felt like he was floating some balls in there, trying to guide balls more so than just letting it rip. Maybe it's because it was windy, maybe because the Steelers defense was causing absolute hell. We have to watch that going forward. And if you're a member remember the Bills Mafia? I know you showed up and showed out. That place was electrifying.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see any Bildos. Saw no Bildos. Congratulations, Bills.
Good work, Bills.
Thank you for not throwing COVID-filled Bildos on the field and keeping the players safe out there. I'm excited to see what the Buffalo Bills are next week and going forward, and also the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin just wins games, baby. That's all he does, and that team seems to be loaded. Let's go to the AFC East, shall we? At Bubba Gumpino, our resident Dolphins fan. Gumpy, another winner in the office. Your thoughts on the Dolphins, and is this withstandable? Are the Dolphins going to go? This is the number one authority on national Dolphin shows. Is this team going to go, you think, Gump?
The Miami Dolphins will find a way to win football games under Brian Flores. Tua, 2-0 against the Patriots now. Jalen Waddle flying around out there. Will Fuller's back this week. It feels good at the top of the AFC East, Pat.
I did see Kyle Van Noy got a sack, and that was probably a massive moment for him, especially getting out of there. But I enjoyed watching that Dolphins team. Young, flying around. Tua made a couple great balls. Had a pick, but it was almost a pick that you like to see him do, because last year he wouldn't throw the goddamn ball. No. This year he just got a little reckless there. He'll learn from it. B-Flow is awesome. Good for the Dolphins going into Foxborough and getting a big dub. I know Dolphins Nation there on the internet was a buzzing. They were loud. They were happy. And before we get to the team that they beat, we need to take a trip around Loserville. Now for everybody else, at Evan Foxy, how'd the Lions do, pal?
We covered, Pat.
We covered, Pat. Yeah, you did. You did cover somehow. Fucked me. Okay, I had alternate spread minus 13 and a half. Yeah. I had alternate spread minus 19 and a half. And by the way, there was numerous times in the game where both of those were very, very, very comfortable. Yeah. You could have got the Lions, I think, in the third quarter, minus 21 and a half, and then it also got all the way up to minus or plus 21 and a half. Then it almost got, I think it got all the way up to plus 23 and a half at some point. Yep. And then all of a sudden, MCDC and the boys clicked. They said, oh, this is what we've been gnawing all those kneecaps for. Yeah. This is why we've been feeding all those Lions in the offseason. This is why we've been running like a pride. This is why we've been fist fighting our coaches, is because when the other team gets tired, we don't get tired. Nope. We just keep going. We take advantage of maybe this prevent defense. Okay, maybe we start stacking some yards, and we make it uncomfortable at the end. And it got very uncomfortable for a lot of people, except for the people in Detroit who said, we got a guy who's going to get our guys to fight till the end. We're only going to lose by 8. Yep. But we ain't going to lose by 24. No, we ain't. No. I think it was a good start. I think it was a good show. And Jared Goff looked a lot better than I thought he was going to look, by the way. I forgot that he can complete passes and make some plays, but it's going to be a long road over there. The Niners have to answer some questions on why they couldn't finish that thing off late, but I assume they did take the gas pedal off because they were drumming the fucking line. Oh, yeah. At Viva Lazito, Chicago Bears fan, you got a chance to see it last night. I'm sure Fields Mania is going to get very quiet after last night's game and probably going forward. Your thoughts on the Bears' loss to the Rams?
Well, Justin Fields had a flawless game. It was a rough game for the Bears, but let's just be honest, we played way better than the Packers.
Okay. Oh. Whoa. In the NFC North, in the NFC North with no wins for anybody, is the only way you can rank it is style points. Yeah, true. In the Vikings, I mean, they were down 21 at one point. Okay, the Lions were down 24 at one point. I mean, the Packers were down 35 at the end of that game. Maybe the Chicago Bears did have the best style points. Chicago Bears outright number 1 in NFC. Way to go, Bears. Way to go. Let's get to it. At Ty Schmidt, the NFC North is winless. The Green Bay Packers look terrible. Yeah. Our guy, Aaron, threw a pass for an interception that was maybe the most hilarious pass I've ever seen in the NFL. You could actually hear, as he was standing in his end zone, literally 1 foot on the goal line, third and whatever, down 14, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. You actually heard it. You heard it, and you saw him say, fuck it. Flick of the wrist, 60-yard interception into double coverage, opposite way of where MVS was going. I mean, it just felt like it was a terrible day to be a Packer fan. And by the way, as a very new Packer fan, just 1 year into this thing, I did get a chance to experience last year, and I had a lot of questions this offseason about what our team was doing. Yesterday was one of those days where it was like, God damn, this is not good at all. Once that snowball started rolling, that son of a bitch got big. It was once a little tiny little snowman at the bottom, then it became frosty bouncing around. Then that snowball just continued to roll. It got worse and worse as the day go on, so much so they bench Aaron, bring in Jordan Love, and there's an entire conversation now about what the fuck's going on in Green Bay. Ty Schmidt, one of the owners of the Green Bay Packers. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's just a steaming pile of shit
Oh.
all around.
Oh.
Raj played like shit.
Oh.
He alluded to it in his press conference, which is nice. I mean, he's not a god. He might play like shit every once in a while. The offensive line looked like shit. The defense looked like shit. Punter looked pretty good, actually.
Hey, but Horton has had a couple misses,
Not
had
bad.
a couple good balls as well.
But, I mean, like you said, everyone else in the division lost. Not worried about. Season starts next week. Now, if they come out and lay an egg against the Lions, then we may have some serious cause for concern. The offense is going to be fine. It was the highest scoring offense in the NFL last year. The defense, on the other hand,
What's the guy's name?
Joe Barry.
A lot of people learned about Joe Barry this week. And this morning, a lot of people learned about Joe Barry. That defense last year, if you look at stats, I guess top 10 defense. That's what Stephen A. Smith was saying this morning. But watching the game, there was a lot of decisions that were made by defense. Obviously, something has to change here. So they get rid of Pettin, by the way, bring in a new D coordinator. Where's this guy from?
I believe he was with the Rams last year, former D coordinator of the 0-16 Lions and the Washington football team when they fucking stunk. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, they wanted to get Jim Leonard, who, you know, went to Wisconsin, is the D coordinator at Wisconsin, said, no, I'm going to stay here. So I don't know what that says. But, I mean, shit, not looking good. It basically... That slow realization that it's like, oh, this is the same defense as last year with a different guy, and if he can't get it done, we're in trouble.
Okay, so I want to let everybody know that I did text Aaron Rodgers. I said, hey, pal, you don't want to come speak to a bunch of stooges on Tuesday. We understand. And he said, get the fuck out of here. Okay, so we will chat with him tomorrow. Cannot wait to chat with him. I assume he's going to have an incredible world view on this entire thing about how, hey, 17-game season this year, longer than it's ever been before. There's been a lot of things that have happened to teams in the past. 38-3 was exactly the score that the Saints beat who?
Bucks. Yeah.
Last year.
Week 9, yep.
Okay, that's a little bit further into the road there. Now, granted, that's a brand new team, but the Bucks lost 38-3 to the Saints. They go on to win the Super Bowl. And although this is week 1, we still have to overreact. The Packers might be dropped down to fucking AA football.
It's possible. It's possible.
No. Man. Not with AA Ron, though. No way. They'll be back. Can't wait to hear what he has to say tomorrow. We appreciate the hell out of him. And let's continue in Loserville. All right. Let's take a left turn down Foxborough. The New England Patriots, Mac Jones' first game as New England Patriot, first game of the Mac Jones Who era, playing against the division rival Dolphins at home. I think a lot of New England fans just expected to win. You guys get the loss. What happened over there?
Well, you can't lose a turnover differential and win the game, Pat. I think we all know that. You can't be fumbling the ball inside the 10-yard line. Mac Jones, the highest completion percentage in the history of the NFL for a rookie in his first game.
Wow, good work, Matt.
He's unbelievable, but defense didn't look great. Offense was so-so. You can't score 16 points and win many games either, Pat. So, we started out last year 1-0, ended up 7-9. Starting out this season 0-1. Let's see if that flips.
Oh, you guys gonna win Super Bowl?
I still have Super Bowl hopes, absolutely. Gilly locked back week 7. Need him big time.
The fumble at the 10 going in. Down 2.
4 minutes left, down 1.
Down 1, I'm sorry. Could have went up 2, by the way. You just kick a field goal right there. You could run that out. I think it was first down or whatever. The thought that the New England Patriots do something like that, is that not alarming, though? Because this is just like Hoyer last year, before the half, no timeouts, taking a sack right in field goal range. It's like there's a lot of things happening from the Patriots organization that doesn't normally happen. After the game, J.C. Jackson, he just go ahead and talk shit on Tua. He's like, that's what Tua does, man. He just throws me the fucking ball, basically. You guys lost. What's going on in New England? Have you guys lost what made New England New England? Or is this going to be, hey, it's week 1, we're going to get better at all this?
Yeah, this is week 1. We're going to get better. 8 penalties for 84 yards was almost more alarming for me than the turnovers, because usually that is something that we never do. I think we led the league last year in the
all
least
these
amount
things
of
that lead to, are you scared to death of what's going on up there in Foxborough?
Not even a little. If anything, I am very pumped that we found our guy. Mac Jones clearly is the best quarterback for our system that we could have gotten. Can't believe he dropped to 15 still. Very confident in everything. First time these guys are playing. Remember, we brought in like 9, 10 guys. This is the first time they've actually played together. Plenty of time in the season, and we got the Jets next week.
And by the way, the Dolphins beat you, by the way. Those turnovers don't just happen because of Patriots. They happen because Dolphins are flying around.
That's X, baby. That's what X does for you. That's why you pay the man.
Yeah, you're damn right. You give them money, you let them fly around out there and get turnovers. So whenever clearly in field goal range. What are we doing?
Yeah, by a lot.
And maybe this is something, too, that Mac Jones going forward will, in the huddle, say, hey, listen, Ain't nobody fumbling the fucking ball right now. Not that he has to. It's the New England Patriots, you think, but there's some things happening up there that I think you should, maybe cause for a little bit of concern, but not as much as happening over here in Indianapolis. This Seattle Seahawks team, okay, only time we talk about them, and this is our fault, okay? And I accept the shins being battered by the Seahawks fans because, to be honest, Seahawks always good over there in the NFC.
Yeah, that's true.
Always good, always good. Had their run with the Legion of Boom.
Sure.
They really had their thing there whenever they were going on. Now it's Russell Wilson's team, brand new squad, and we don't ever talk about them. You know why? Because I think the drama normally is the only conversation. And the only time to talk about them is in the offseason because during the regular season, we're losing our mind of a lot of the things. The NFC West is going to be tough to get out of. I mean, there's all that type of shit. Seattle Seahawks beat the dog shit out of the Indianapolis Colts.
Damn.
Now, Frank Reich made some decisions. Indianapolis Colts head coach Frank Reich, former quarterback. Also, the guy who had the largest comeback in NFL history and college football history is a backup quarterback, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy who loves going for it. He is a no risk it, no biscuit type quarterback. And he has proven to be the exact same as a head coach. He goes for it in situations. Down 11, in field goal range, 4th and 1. Could make this a one-score game. Now we're going to go for it. Carson Wentz fumbles the quarterback center exchange. That ball's down, boom. Turnover on downs. They go down. Then we get the ball back, by the way. Same exact situation, in field goal range, 4th and something. Now we're going for it again. We don't get it. There's 6 points left on the board where I got them at plus 8.5 somehow in a live bet. We would have still covered if you put those two things on there. But there's a lot that needs to be fixed in Indianapolis. Ty Lockett was running around all by himself out there.
Yeah. Jeez.
Russell Wilson was throwing deep balls like Russell Wilson. That son of a bitch might have touched the roof of Lucas Oil Stadium and came down wide open. The D-line, Dunlap and the boys there, they were feasting on a great offensive line. And then Jamal Adams flies around and makes play. I'm worried about the Indianapolis Colts. Legit. I don't know if we just turn this thing back on. There was a couple people that tweeted me and said, hey, Pat, what I think you have to realize, and all of us other Colts have to realize, is that Carson Wentz is the man we know, not the man we knew.
Ooh.
And I'm like, whoa.
Slow down.
It is too fucking early for you to say that. But I'll say that Carson Wentz deserves none of the hate that he's going to potentially get for his performance this past weekend and the Colts not winning. He was getting his ass beat. And I'm very thankful that he's a 9-foot-tall, thick son of a bitch because he could be out again. Let's hope that the Colts offensive line will come back together. They're going to have to figure it out there at left tackle with Davenport. I don't know how the hell who knows how that's going to go moving forward. We only got the Rams next week.
Oh, that's it?
Should be okay.
Aaron Donald's down there.
Should be fine.
Leonard Floyd. That's okay.
Jalen.
We'll figure it out.
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, man.
Last night.
Love what they're doing with him.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He is fucking everywhere. He's like Palomalu almost at this point. He was everywhere. And I loved, speaking of Jalen Ramsey, I loved how the refs called the taunting. Like, I appreciate how the refs called the taunting. The one call with Jensen on Thursday night that they called, it ended up being offset and penalties. Let's just fucking move along. Nothing happened here. Ramsey clearly had what they were calling a taunting call, like how they described it. He went onto the bench, onto his own sideline, walked the guy down, and was saying things. McVay comes sprinting over. McVay grabs him and says, whoa. And I think the ref even came over and said, hey, I'm supposed to fucking call this right now. And then Ramsey turned real quick and was going the other way. I like that the refs, kind of like, hey, understood that there's a little bit of a gamesmanship in there. But Jalen Ramsey, if he's going to play football like that all season, and Matthew Stafford's going to be able to do exactly what we thought. Now, everybody's banging the drum that they were on the Matthew Stafford train earlier, which is interesting and fast. I'm assuming everybody was. Yeah, okay, sounds good. But the Matthew Stafford LA Rams offense is going to be electrifying. We expected it to be. We thought it was going to be. And that's strictly because if you hadn't watched a Detroit Lions game, all you did was look at the Lions stats for so long and their record and say, oh, that team fucking stinks. And normally in the NFL, when a team stinks, you point right at the quarterback because the quarterback has somehow claimed ownership over a win-loss stat, even though it's an entire team sport. That's just the way we live. So Matthew Stafford, I don't think ever got the respect that he deserved in Detroit, strictly because Detroit Lions fucking stunk when he was there.
Stank.
Now, people won't talk about the potential curse of Calvin Johnson being forced to give his money back and Barry Sanders being forced to give his money back. Maybe they need to take some sage into the training room like FC Richmond and fucking turn that whole thing around. But Matthew Stafford, if you watch the Lions, never once did you say, this is that guy's fault. This guy is losing. They're losing because of this guy right here. I got a chance to see it live. He was now they did lose. It was. Andrew Luck had a last-second drive to win that whole thing. Actually did a little Matthew Stafford to Matthew Stafford. It was an awesome thing. But if you ever watched the Lions, you clearly thought to yourself, oh, this guy's unbelievable. But nobody watched the Lions except for Thanksgiving Day. Nobody saw the Lions because the Lions stink. Nobody would go out of their way and say, hey, I only have one TV or two TVs. I'm going to use my Red Zone or my Sunday ticket, and I'm going to use one of these TVs for a fucking Lions game. Nobody ever said that. Ever. So nobody got to see Matthew Stafford. Then, obviously, the Bleacher Report comedians come out and say, oh, old Pad Stafford, that's all this guy cares about and everything like that. If you watch Lions games, like I was forced to do because we have Foxy in here, it was very evident, like, oh, this son of a bitch's career is maybe getting wasted up here. And then whenever it came out this weekend, he was maybe going to be an Indianapolis Colt. Then he was potentially going to be a Carolina Panther. Like, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, although Sam Darnold got a big win over the Jets and Christian McCaffrey's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to take it easy, though.
Look out.
Hey, he picks up 40 yards and then is seeking contact. I think Matt Rule needs to tell Christian McCaffrey, hey, man, listen, you are one of the most explosive, electrifying, exciting football players that this league has right now. But what you need to do after you pick up 25, 30, just fucking slide like a quarterback or go out of bounds. And Christian McCaffrey's going to say, I'm a running back. I don't do that. And Matt Rule's going to go, listen, I'm old school. I don't like when people do that. But we need you. He takes some massive shots.
Yeah.
And it's after Matt. He is so good at the football. So good at the football. And he is reckless and careless out there. I mean, and by reckless and careless, I mean this in a good way. It's why he's so good. He hits a hole going 200 miles an hour. I mean, he is gone out there. But I watch and I think to myself, Carolina Panthers got to be thinking to themselves, hey, I hope that this guy survives this season. He is so fucking good at football. And by the way, Teddy Bridgewater with Carolina last year, if he is Christian McCaffrey, probably still in Carolina. Instead, now he's in Denver doing Teddy Bridgewater stuff, getting wins. Shout out to the Denver Broncos, by the way. Von Miller ate a little bit. I mean, it's nice to see them get a win. Nice to see Teddy Bridgewater do well. But allegedly, the Carolina Panthers were in on Matthew Stafford until the Rams made this last-minute jump for him. And just the thought of Sean McVay's offense with who they... Deshaun Jackson ate last night.
Yeah, he's playing.
I mean, Deshaun Jackson, Cooper Kupp's all the way back. That squad with that defense, I think they zoomed in on Jalen Ramsey after a touchdown bomb, that touchdown bomb from Matthew Stafford, and he was yelling very loud. Yeah. And I almost wanted to grab the video and say, what he was thinking here in his head is, we got a fucking guy. That is what that entire team is thinking, we got a fucking guy. Not that Goff wasn't, okay? Goff is a guy. But whenever Stafford plays, I mean, he is just fucking, and he runs, he's a competitor. I mean, it's just like, that is going to be so much fun to watch, and they got to play fucking Indianapolis Colts this week. Watch out. Hey, McVay, maybe put Stafford down on the bench so we don't fuck him up too much. You know what I mean? Maybe that's something you need to do.
It was pretty awesome, though, that Goff had a nice tribute to Stafford yesterday by throwing for 350, 3 touchdowns, and a pick 6 in Stafford fashion.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter.
That was pretty awesome. Thank you, Goff.
Hey, Goff, thank you, Goff. Thank you, Goff, for paying tribute to 9. Goff had, 49 or 50 attempts?
Over 50.
Like 57 or something.
MCDC, I thought we were going to run the ball, man.
That's not how we want to play football.
How come they didn't give Swift a rock? He had a lot.
He had a score.
They just got down so fast early. The offensive line actually looked really good, and Sewell looked great at left tackle, who had to switch over because Decker's hot.
He's hot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we bring in Penei Sewell and say, hey, we got a left tackle spot for you. Because
you need it.
Speaking of left tackles, the most popular one in the NFL needs to stop podcasting.
Geez.
That's what people are going to say to him.
Big time.
Because he has such an electrifying personality and talks to his friends into microphones. That is what people are going to say to him. And I love that Taylor Lewan owned up and was like, hey, listen, Chandler Jones is really fucking good at football. 5 sacks for Chandler Jones. This comes after like a potential contract dispute with the Cardinals. And at one point after his 5th sack, 2 of them being strip sacks, I believe, so 2 turnovers. After the 5th one, he did the money dance, okay? And I think what he said was, give me my fucking money. I believe. I think I saw that exactly. He said that he changed that game completely.
Yeah.
And Taylor Lewan is one of the league's best left tackles. He's coming off of an injury. I assume he knew that squaring off against Chandler Jones in the first game. A man who has 20-some sacks, I think, in the last couple of years. Yearly. He has. Go ahead. What is his sack total?
So he was hurt last year. Then he had 19 the year before that, 13, and then 17 the year before that.
So he's good. He's a good player.
Pretty good. Player. Yeah, he can play.
He is on pace right now to do
85?
Yeah,
85 sacks this season.
Yeah. So
if he does that, I think it's going to be tough for Arizona to say, hey, listen, we ain't going to pay you. You know what I mean? I think that is
85
difficult.
will be a record, too.
J.J. Watt was, it would be a record. And it would be asterisk
17-game season.
Yeah.
But there's a chance he breaks it by week 5 if he gets 5
Nah,
sacks.
they won't say that in the overall history books over there at Hall of Fame. You know, they have those little
the Rolodexes,
the
US
jump drives.
There it is.
The jump drives.
For the people saying that about Taylor Lewan, though, it's like, hey, dude, tore his ACL last year, and also let's see what happens with Chandler Jones next week when he eviscerates the next left tackle they're playing, because he's absurdly good and now has J.J. Watt with him.
Okay, so, boys, I would like to say that my FanDuel account has reached 0.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's tough.
basically every bet I made yesterday. And we said, hey, we don't really know what we're doing until about week 4 or 5.
That's right.
We don't know what any of these teams are. Just because how they performed last year doesn't mean that's going to be how they perform this year. What you did yesterday literally doesn't matter. You have to do it again today. And who knows how one new player might affect an entire team. Like, for instance, I thought Julio Jones was really going to be a spark that would ignite that entire Tennessee Titans team. But Chandler Jones with his 5 sacks, that Arizona Cardinals team, absolutely unbelievable. Will Arizona be able to continue to do this? I think there's a chance they will. Cliff Kingsbury was even a little bit fiery around.
He was.
He was even a little fiery on the sideline. He's big laissez-faire guy. Normally super chill and relaxed and coolest guy in the room. He was fired up on the sideline about some timeout, some challenge, something he did. He was motherfucking a ref. And I assume there's some people out there that don't like, not me, I fucking love it. When I see a coach chewing out a ref, refs don't love it, obviously. The NFL doesn't love it. But that makes me say, okay, this coach cares. Like, I think this coach, B-Flow got me fired up last year whenever he was chasing refs off the field.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to let you motherfuckers know you fucked us today.
Yeah.
Hey, when you look in the mirror tonight, I want you to think, oh, I'm the ref that screwed over Brian Flores and the fucking Miami Dolphins. That's basically what he was saying. Like, I love whenever that happens. Cliff Kingsbury, if Kyler Murray is going to continue to be a Madden game, which he was at times last year, so much so that I bet on him basically every single game last year, and it broke my heart and my account numerous times. I want to let everybody know I am back hard on the stance that we will be, until further notice, we will be shillelaghing, hammering, shellacking the Arizona Cardinals, because if they can, oh no, is that Aaron?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
it was.
This is not a sign of how we feel or how Aaron's going to play next week, by the way.
Not at all.
That's just a shillelagh's first time getting swung.
It's a heavy shillelagh.
It brings a hammer.
Yeah.
The shillelagh. Anyways, we're shillelaghing and shellacking the shit out of the Arizona Cardinals until further notice. If they're going to, James Conner was throwing dudes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Beast.
Rondale Moore getting loose out there. Kyler Murray's playing like a video game. Chandler Jones getting 5 sacks. J.J. Watt was causing pressures and getting moves as well. I mean, that Buda Baker
Isaiah
cooking
Simmons
back there.
was
He scooped a ball, looked like an athlete. I mean, this might be the year where, although we lost a lot of money on them last year,
Big time.
and although, I mean, we're talking 5-6 figures were gone because of the Arizona Cardinals last year, because of these moments of greatness. Last year, Kyler Murray hit that little stutter step on a professional athlete, like maybe week 1 or week 2, and I was like, well, I'm going to bet on that human every single time. And I did, and we lost a lot of close games. We talked to Kyler in the offseason, and Kyler said, hey, listen, we just got to focus on being consistent every single day going to work. I think it sounded like he was maturing and growing through that entire thing. If that team can play, especially with J.J. Watt over there.
Oh, yeah.
Hopkins, unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah.
Fucking, he's going up.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
He is going up.
Ridiculous.
AJ Green looked pretty good, too. He had a couple catches.
Kirk, 2
We
touchdowns.
will bet on the Cardinals until further notice, but they are in the NFC West. In that NFC West, 4-0, everybody's going to be good over there.
If you like them, they are still plus 500 to win that division. Pretty good odds there. Kyler Murray is plus 1,600 to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh.
Chandler Jones is plus 850 to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I said this last night to myself as I looked at the zero in my account and only my active bets.
Sure.
Because they're all future bets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got Matthew Stafford for MVP very early with great odds. I was staring down that one. I'm like, we'll leave this one in there.
Need you.
Leave this one
Need
in.
you.
There's a couple other that I thought, could cash out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, maybe I could just take like a $5 loss, $10 loss on this just so I can get back in the game. Even though I think my account was staring at me saying, hey, take the night off.
Yeah. Let's wait till Monday Night Football.
Let's do a little sleepy time here, pal. Let's come back into this thing. That was the one I looked at all my future bets I have created through the offseason when I would just get bored and go in there. That was the one I was like, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Looks like at the end of the season, this one's going to be good. But Kyler Murray, Offensive Player of the Year, is not a bad thought. Tonight, we got Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
That team has been riddled with injury and catastrophe. I can't wait to see what that team does. They got some studs in the backfield still somehow. Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And Lamar Jackson's still Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Have people figured him out? And is John Gruden and the Raiders going to be the one to stop him first and lay the blueprint and say, hey, this is what we're doing in 2021 to stop Lamar Jackson? Or is Gruden going to go out there and absolutely ball? They're facing IRS issues way above them.
Yes.
But the Raiders always win games and none of us expect them to. And I think it's because they're in the Chiefs division, who once again, by the way, they are fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have no idea how much they're going to win by each game. We can't bet on them.
No.
Can't bet on the Chiefs. The only thing you can bet on the Chiefs is the money line, because whenever they decide to, they're going to go. And you can actually see it happening. Last night in the Kingdom, you could actually see it happening. When Patrick Mahomes started yelling to the crowd, when Travis Kelce started going, it was literally, you saw the transformation of, now we go.
Yeah.
That was literally what it was. And the whole, him just throwing it in September, Patrick Mahomes, 11-0 in his 11 starts, 3,637 passing yards, 35 TDs, 0 interceptions.
Absurd.
Okay, Sunday Night Football had that stat last night on Football Night in America. I fucking lost my mind. I was like, we got to talk about this. 35 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the month of September in Patrick Mahomes' career. Absolutely absurd. Him throwing a 50-yard sidearm flick to Tyreek Hill. And, if that was down the sideline, people say it was back shoulder. Everybody said he just kind of hoped, but it was, he threw it behind the defender, made him stop, had him do a whirly bird. He said afterwards that he literally couldn't see Tyreek Hill. He just saw his little hand sticking up. So that means he saw Tyreek Hill's glove that has the peace sign on it, literally just like this. And Patrick Mahomes sees the peace sign. He's like, oh, it's fucking Tyreek down here. Let me go ahead and huck this thing. 75-yard touchdown. It's unbelievable. And they just do it. Travis Kelce, 2 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And Cleveland Browns are fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah.
They're good.
They get OBJ hopefully next week. That comes out of nowhere. Baker Mayfield absolutely balling. Chubb walked a couple in. Hunt's running hard. That defense, Myles Garrett and Clowney, literally meeting at Patrick Mahomes a couple different times. The Browns are going to be good. What?
I'm not saying it, Pat.
What?
I'm not saying it, Foxy.
Go ahead,
say
Tony.
What?
Say it, Tony.
I'm not doing it.
Do it, Tony.
What, in your little swooshy ass Steelers jacket that's been rubbing in the microphone?
Say it.
In the Heinz Field sitting right next to you and beautiful, splash.
I'm just saying that they might have made some mistakes that past Browns teams have made.
Like what?
What are you saying?
I'm not doing it.
Say it.
Say it.
Do it.
What are you trying to say?
Do
Just
it.
say it.
Same old Browns.
This against the Chiefs, dude.
Jeez.
The same old Browns they'd be doing against the Jaguars down there. And by the way, Coach Dave said, hey, Urban, welcome to the men's league. That's right. All right, we got to get to a break. I don't think they're the same old Browns at all.
No.
If same old Browns, you mean last year's Browns that beat you guys in the playoffs. I love Coach Tomlin. Hey, I can't even believe that I actually thought that the Buffalo Bills were just going to do their thing.
I know.
Especially because as you're watching that game, you're like, of course Tomlin's going to have a full fucking thing.
6.5.
He never loses.
No.
Well, he does, but
That big of a spread? No way. And speaking of the gambling real quick, you did have Jarvis Landry touchdown very early in the week last
I
year.
mean, could have got that at plus like 800, 700, something like that early.
No big deal.
But that money did get swallowed.
Oh, yeah.
By other bets.
Yeah, it did get eaten.
Yeah, it did get eaten in there, which is a shame. We're back in 5 minutes, actually 4 minutes with Darius Butler. Can't wait to chat with him about his thoughts on who played well, who didn't play well, what team stinks, what teams are going to win the Super Bowl, who's the MVP right now, all that and more overreaction here on the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The
Hawkeye replay system, which has the smart technology, which is synchronized multi-angle replay technology, which allows the ref to view all of the shots and angles of a certain play at the same damn time, as opposed to what they've been doing all along, which is TV producers deciding what replays they see when. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
What? Now, we know a lot about these TV producers, okay?
Yeah.
I couldn't see Joey Josh Chestnut eat his 76th fucking hot dog, all right?
Bullshit.
On 4th of July to break his own record because of a production. We've seen a lot of other rather terrible decisions made in television, in broadcasting of games made. Those same people now, I'm learning, were the people that were deciding what angles the 95-year-old refs in the NFL were getting to see. This is absurd. Thankful that the XFL, who had the Hawkeye smart technology, synchronized multi-angle replay technology, either created, invented, or used from other places, like tennis has this, I believe. I like that we're expediting the replay system. I like that we're getting up with the times. Replay should be an asset to the NFL, as opposed to what it is, which seems to be a burden. The pass interference replay thing, because of how terrible they botched the execution of that, it probably will never be brought up or, thought about again, because fans will be able to say, oh, remember when they did that last time? It's like, no, remember how they executed that last time. The replay system is run by people who have not a lot of experience with maybe quick, slow-mo, fast forward, maybe just content being in their face all day, every day. I like that we're making this better. It's better for the game. It's better for everybody. There's a lot of money on the line. Let's not let an opportunity pass where we can utilize technology to make sure the right shit gets done. Let's just do it in a much more efficient fashion. I've always felt that way, AJ.
Well, it's much more efficient, but it makes me question, how did we go this long to where a TV producer is controlling what replays, what angles you're gonna see, for the referee, that kind of blows my mind when you think about it.
Yeah, I read it yesterday and I almost axled my pants.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I'm an adult, but you get it.
I don't know. I bet you have in the last 5 years.
No, I haven't, but I had. There was that one time where I thought it was going to be a sound, and it was actually action.
Yeah, a little close. That's a different story, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't a full axle, I don't think.
Yeah, no, sharding is not
You didn't
pooping.
step in it.
Whoa, I have a little couth on for the goddamn good of the show. But speaking of that, I was quite alarmed whenever I read that TV producer. I'm like, the same people that are making a lot of the decisions that we get a chance to witness every single week are the same people that are deciding whether or not a play that I have a lot of money riding on potentially is overturned or not. I am not about that. Thank you. I'll tell you what, it was pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand too, so that's good news, sir. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking?
Yeah.
Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. That was good. Oh, that was. I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show, Monday, September 13th. Not just any Monday, it's the first Overreaction Monday of the 2021 NFL season, and we are enjoying the hell out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, host of the Man to Man podcast, Everything DB, and now officially a part of the FanDuel family, I believe. Ladies and gentlemen, 9-year NFL vet, Darius Butler.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, good to see you. Great to have you back. Congrats on the FanDuel deal. We're proud of you, pal.
Hey, man, appreciate you. You played a big part in that.
I did send some text messages. I said, hey, you got to figure this out. But you got it done, so congratulations to you. Let's chat about what happened this weekend, pal. What are you thinking? What are some big thoughts? Who blew your mind? Did the Colts Stink, dude. How about the Packers? Are they going to get relegated to Double A?
Oh, no.
Is Urban Meyer's seat already hot after one week? What are your thoughts, Darius Butler, after playing 9 years in the NFL at a high level?
I mean, I feel like Urban Meyer's seat was hot as soon as he got hired. But you know, the best thing I saw yesterday, that Chandler Jones, man, pay that dude, and I mean immediately to go out there and get 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I feel like that's my MVP and Defensive Player of the Year right now. Taylor Lewan, I guess he tried to get to social media and get in front of the slander. Different little strategy there, but that was phenomenal. Everybody from the NFC West looks great. AFC South, the Houston Texans in the league. Oh, yeah. They look like they're on their way to the Super Bowl, possibly. There's a lot of shit. My Dolphins.
Oh!
Shout out Gut winning there. Foxborough got a win, man. So there's a lot of things that went on yesterday, man. I'm just happy to be here, overreact to every and anything.
Darius Butler got drafted to the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah,
they tried to pay him for a little bit for his fanhood.
Yeah, they cut me too.
Yeah. The Dolphins are his heart, obviously. South Florida boy, we appreciate you joining us. Let's talk about some of the things you chatted about right there. Chandler Jones with 5 sacks in one game. He's on pace to have 85 sacks this season. Okay, now that's asterisks. Obviously, it's a 17-game season. Right. It's a little bit different. The money dance at the end there. It feels like with the Colts, with the Titans, there was nothing really with the Packers. There was nothing really able to go because the offensive line couldn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like almost a shock factor? Like, oh, we're back in football, and it might take a little bit. Some people might stumble out of the gates. Or why do you think D linemen in Buffalo as well in some situations have just capitalized and taken advantage in week 1 of a lot of offensive lines?
I mean, I don't know, man. But, I mean, even in Pittsburgh, I mean, we know Pittsburgh, they've led the league in sacks 4 years in a row. They're going to get after a passer. When you don't have the threat of a run game, it's tough. And obviously Packers, it got ugly there. They're not going to run the ball. Derrick Henry, his first 9 carries, I think he had 8 yards. So it starts there. So these guys, which other team am I thinking about?
Packers, Colts.
No. I want to get back to this Titans, though, because Taylor Lewan, I got to get back to this. This is bigger than one guy. This is a whole coaching fiasco. On Wednesday morning, you go in there 8 o'clock, you put 3 game records up on the board. You got the defensive game records, offensive, and special teams. At 55, I know he was on it. He's been on there for a decade. So for you to let a guy get 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, I mean, that's absolutely crazy. He went out there and earned 25, 28 a year.
No chips either. Like, I think that's what everybody was thinking. Tony Dungy, I think, said that last night at Football Night in America. He was like, can we get some help for that guy? Like, is there anything?
They had a boot and didn't even block him on one play. Like, I mean, I think their OC came over from Oakland, so I don't know how you keep recycling these guys, just giving them these jobs, man. But it was – I mean, it's crazy. But, I mean, the offensive line, that's like the DB unit. You saw that blown coverage with the Bears last night. If one guy messes up or a certain guy doesn't
that wasn't a blown coverage. That wasn't a blown coverage. I saw it. Dan Orlovsky told me that was not a blown coverage, D-But.
Stafford used his eyes.
That isn't. But wait, I have a question. If
Dan is a wild boy, man. Dan is a wild – After that, so this dude texts me. We're going back like 20 minutes back and forth with text messages. He's pulling up old clips. I mean, it was I'll give you a little cheat sheet, guys. I don't care if you played the game or not. You never took one snap of football. Anytime you see a clip where the closest defender is about 15 yards away from the receiver, it's a blown coverage. All right? I don't care what Stafford, McVay, or anybody out there doing. That's a blown coverage.
Well, I think his eyes could have led to the blown coverage, right? Like the fact that Orlovsky was like, no, saying blown coverage isn't giving Matthew Stafford enough credit for what he was doing. His feet were parallel. I saw him do that.
Shoulders, eyes. But I mean, it had nothing to do with actually that side of the ball. Little football, little coverage one-on-one. When you go quarter, half, the defense actually splits the field in half. So this side of the defense is doing their own thing, and this side of the defense is doing their own thing. So any help from that side would have been bonus. That nickel, he should have carried Cup all the way to the end zone. He dropped him early. Stafford did a great job finding him and putting the ball on him.
Well, that's not what Dan Orlovsky says.
Nope.
We're talking Darius Butler, a man who played corner, nickel, safety, everything in the defensive backfield for the Patriots, Panthers, and the Colts. I was lucky to be his teammate. D-Bud, if you're a fan of one of these teams that shit the bed, just absolutely shit the bed yesterday, what do you tell them, and from your experience, you let them know, like, hey, things are going to change here. From week 1 to week 2, things are going to, some teams won't. Hey, some teams are going to be shit. They are who we thought they were. That's going to happen. But there's a lot of growth that's going to happen, especially in this season. What are your thoughts on things that you've been a part of or you're looking back on after a bad game to move on to week 2?
You just got to make corrections, fix it and move on. Like A-Rod got up there and said, yes, it's one game. You got 16 games left. And if you got a team as talented as like Green Bay, you got a chance. You'll be good. You'll still be in it down the stretch. I even will say the same thing with the Colts. You get Fisher back in there at left tackle. Xavier Rhodes missed the game. Russell Wilson, that's a phenomenal player. That offensive line, they gotta get their shit together collectively. But I think they're talented enough from, the head coach, the quarterback, and everybody in that building. So if you got a good team, a good roster, the future is bright. If your roster's shitty and you went out there and played shitty week 1, it's going to be a long road ahead.
Yeah, because, if you have a shitty roster, like, you can't really bank on the players right to make a play. So you're banking on the coaches to scheme up right. And we can assume by some of the things we've seen that some of these coaches might not be the season for them. Nope. Maybe they'll go to the drawing board in the offseason. We'll see how it goes. Some places were surprising, though. I think I'm just so fascinated because this is Overreaction Monday, and we do peddle in overreactions on Mondays during the season. But the internet is awesome after week 1.
Oh, yeah.
There was one guy who said, I forget exactly what it was. Basically, trade Dalton to Washington, get Fields in there, fire Nagy, get him out of there. This is all after one game against the Los Angeles Rams defense. Yeah, Nagy should give, this was awesome. Mike Dubs radio. Nagy should give up a play call like he did last year. Fields starts week 2. Bears trade Dalton to Washington. It's like, Mike Dubs, I love Mike Dubs a lot, but the fact that he was like, no, this is exactly what has to fucking happen after one game. I love that. That's why the NFL is so fantastic. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, D-Bud, obviously, sweet Dolphins hat, dude. I was wondering what you thought about McCorkle Jones' performance, especially considering how good the Dolphins secondary is with X Howard and Byron Jones and now McCourty.
Yeah, that's a tough defense to face, week 1. Obviously, B-Flow, he's been in New England forever. He knows that system. He knows what they want to do on offense. And he had him in position to win that game. It's tough to start in this league as a rookie. I think all 3 of the starting rookie quarterbacks lost. And he had him right in the fourth quarter. Running back fumbled it late, and that kind of cost him the game. X Howard picked up the fumble, turnover machine. But McCorkle looked good. He looked good. I would say he looked the best out of the 3 guys who started. You had Zach Wilson, who struggled against the Panthers, and then Trevor Lawrence, who made some plays but struggled against the Texans. So I think the future is bright with Mac Jones up there in New England, and they'll be all right.
Hey, there's a lot of non-Patriot shit happening up there the last couple of years. You hear me? A lot of non-Patriot shit, D. But last year, we saw Hoyer obviously get sacked and going into half with no timeouts left in field goal range. And it's like, that's just one situation, but that's something the Patriots never did. Like, hey, that's not what the Patriots do. There was a couple other things. This game, fumble going in, 3 minutes left in the game, 4 minutes left in the game, down 1 on the 10-yard line. I mean, you're obviously in field goal range. The folklore, Nick Folk is back in there. That ball is going to go in. They fumble, they lose that game. After the game, J.C. Jackson talks shit on Tua after losing. It's like there's a lot of things happening in New England. It doesn't normally happen, D-Butt.
Yeah, bulletin board material is a big no-no out there. And J.C. Jackson, obviously a very good player. And this is a good team they're going to see later in the season. So that's usually a no-no. And that fumble, ball security, that's the best way to get in the doghouse as a running back or anybody who carries the ball out in New England. So very uncharacteristic of them. But it's football, man. I saw it happened with one of the teams I bet on too, the Vikings. Dalvin coughed one up late as well, and that game went overtime and they lost. So it's happening, especially early in the season. Hopefully they fit, and that's a team, that's a coaching staff, and that's a locker room that I'll bet on to get those things fixed and win a bunch of games this year.
Yeah, week 1, I guess we shouldn't overreact too much. Speaking of the Vikings-Bengals game, shout out to Evan McPherson. Yeah! Congrats on the game winner in your first ever NFL game, dude. That's awesome. He was slaughtering footballs. 4th and 1 on your own 29, up 14. And the Vikings have looked dead.
Big nut.
Yeah.
Hey, I agree. Okay, you can say big old gut sack, but literally, you pick that up, you continue to go, you go up 17 or up 21. Awesome. Obviously, that is awesome. That is what you're looking for. But god damn, the Vikings look dead. There was nothing happening. All they needed was a little bit of a spark. As soon as that happened, Thielen with a touchdown, bang, we're back in there. And then their kicker, Greg Joseph, slaughters 2 50-some yarders to send that thing to overtime. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, that game changed immediately upon that call. Cincinnati Bengals, I think, though, if you're part of the Who Day, like, you got a chance to see your team go through some adversity there.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase took the top off the bucket, by the way, getting through the yips, catches a deep ball there. So happy for him. I mean, the Bengals look like they had some dogs. Like, the Bengals look like a team over there, D-Bud.
I mean, they got some good players. They got some, obviously Burrow, he got banged up last year, but he's a great young quarterback. You went up and got Chase early where a lot of people thought should have went a different direction. But, I mean, that's a 1-2 punch that could be scary down the stretch. And to see, I was happy to see him make all those plays on week 1, especially with, his comments, in my opinion, kind of being taken and blown out of proportion. But he went out there and made Jesse Bates. I love him as a safety. And Mixon, he's not talked about a lot. But big win for the Bengals. They held it down on their home turf. And week 1, long season, tough division. But, good win, real good win for them.
No indoor facility. Go ahead, Ty.
Debo, when you look at the Packers, they shit-can Mike Pettin as their defensive coordinator and bring in a guy who really hasn't been successful anywhere else. And you always hear that, like, they have a bunch of these pieces and a bunch of these dudes. At what point is it possible, though, that, like, maybe the personnel is the issue and it's not necessarily the coaching? Or do you think, no, who they have calling these plays is the real issue here?
It's tough, but looking at that personnel, there's no way I can look at that defense and come to that conclusion that their personnel is the issue. So I think part of that yesterday, part of that was the offense not moving the ball. Right. It's a complimentary game. A-Rod had 2 turnovers. The offense was just not moving the ball at all. So you got your defense out there all day in Florida. It's going to be tough in that heat. So Kevin King, I mean, he's giving up. He's giving up big plays, man. You getting short. Jameis got the ball on short fields all day, so it's tough. It was a tough start for Joe Barry, but that defense, that front, that secondary. I mean, that's one of my favorite safety tandems. And you got Alexander out there, who's probably a top 2 or 3 corner in the league. So I definitely can't put it on personnel. Joe Barry, what's his name? Joe Barry? Yeah. He's got to figure it out fast, man.
Ty, great way to word that. We bring in a defense coordinator who has never had success. It made me laugh. We got like 2 minutes real quick on this last one, D-Bud. We appreciate your brain. Go ahead, Diggs.
D-Bud, Steelers got pressure yesterday without blitzing. They blitzed once or twice, depending on who you're getting stats from. How awesome is that for the secondary, for the D-line to get pressure without blitzing?
I mean, that's everything. You saw that same thing in New Orleans. They were getting after them with 3-4 man rushes. So that's just, you got more resources on the back end. And you had Joe Hayden back, who missed that Week 14 matchup last year. He's playing on the contract year. You had Sutton, who was making some plays, man, as that number 2 corner. Minka's an all-pro. And the big money man up front. He was a one-man wrecking crew. So when you get after that quarterback and keep a guy like Josh Allen, who that offense didn't have any run threat too. So they'll be dropping it back, throwing it all game. You can't do that against that Pittsburgh defense, man. So if I'm a Steelers fan, I think Big Ben is still definitely some room to tighten up. But that team slept on coming in this year. I can see them making some noise.
The first half offense looked absolutely terrible. Second half it looked different. New offensive coordinator, same old Ben. Let's see how this whole thing goes. Great defense. D-Butt, we can't thank you enough for joining us. You're the best. Can't wait to see you next Monday, pal.
Hey, appreciate you, fellas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler. We have some breaking news that happened during that incredible conversation with our guy, Darius Butler, Man-to-Man Podcast, Everything DB. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Washington football team quarterback, whose stadium, by the way, had some busted pipes.
Look out.
Jason Wright says, hey, I'm trying to fix the culture. I can't fix all these fucking pipes. All right. Allegedly, that was just rainwater, and they all kind of went on with it. But Rappaport's reporting that the Washington football team quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick did suffer a hip subluxation. That's a dislocation?
Yes, I believe.
The MRI confirmed he'll be placed on injured reserve, source said, but no indication yet that it's season ending. Okay, so he goes on to injured reserve. I think brought that down to like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. I forget what it was last season. They're going to roll with it. Doesn't mean it's season ending like IR used to mean, but it does mean it's Heineke time. Yeah. Washington, unless they bring in Cam Newton or somebody else. We shall see how that goes. The hip subluxation is a nightmare to think about. Hey, they said though, Fitz, you're old, you'll fucking break your hip, dude. That's right. He's had an incredible run. We hope he's back out there. We absolutely love that guy. T's and P's for his hip and Godspeed on that. There'll be more rolling out. This is Overreaction Monday. We'll recap everything that happened yesterday. Clyde Christensen, quarterback coach for the Buccaneers, will join us. And your calls, 1-833-4-McAfee. Cheers.
Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it. Yeah. Okay, so let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No.
You can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No, at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack a little.
No,
it's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were. When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. You know, the way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. You know, I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. You know, that had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. You know, the season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, you know, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, you know, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things. Yeah. But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died. With your
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're going to make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like, you never thought, like, oh, football isn't for me. Like, there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore. Or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. You know, it's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And community seems amazing. Fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
We have no idea how to do the subway system, but Zeke is doing the direction, the directing, the mapping, the planning. Well, my tell is in 10 minutes, that train should be ready. He knew his shit. He said it's going that way. This is Zito guided tour. We're not going to get spun on the train. Get on an Uber. This was a bad idea. This was a bad decision. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I mean, that's going to be interesting.
Are we on the right way to Yankee Stadium right now? To the Bronx.
I don't like that hesitancy.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
New York it's a bit much. There's shit everywhere. It smells like shit. There's a lot of people, but it's a hell of an industry out here, you know. Thank you so much.
Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. We the one. Out of the darkness I rose up. Gold in my soul, it's a gold rush. Honor and freedom, my toast up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Hard on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions. Spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning a pistol and shoot down the criticisms. Individually, I heard the voices that told us. Throw dirt on my name and wish me the worst and stole us, Shot through the heart and pray on my downfall. But yes, he prevailed on my outlaw. Stay on top of the salami time. On my chest like Olympic gold. Rapids move on the field like a jazz song. Witness greatness, look up in LeBron home. Remember next time for you doubt us. That only made me go.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, September 13th, 2021, years after zero. It's a beautiful day to be alive, even if your team fucking stunk yesterday. Hour 2 begins right now. Shout to Twine for that beat drop. Shout to all the boys being here and for you listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. Whether it's on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, or at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We can't thank you enough. This community we have been able to build as a team here is nothing short of incredible. I think we've gotten shit to trend like 5 of the last 6 days. Today being hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Let's head to the Twitterverse and see what some people were overreacting about to their teams yesterday and things that were popping off. What up to number 3 overall trend in the United States? We appreciate you all so much. And there were some incredible answers. And although I assume we didn't get to see them all, we did try to highlight a couple that we found. That's pretty funny. Let's go to Michael Anderson at Mikey Anderson TV. And hey, Mikey, when he gets on TV, this guy's fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Lightning rod.
Okay, I'll say it. I think Aaron Rodgers is purposely tanking the season as a revenge play to get Goody fired. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Mikey was not the only one that tweeted this, by the way.
A lot of people tweeted.
There was a lot of, hey, is he sandbagging out there? There was actually a meme created of Adam Sandler when he was quarterback for
the longest yard. Yeah.
Longest yard for the Mean Machine. And then Aaron Rodgers sitting there saying, he threw the game for some money. Aaron's throwing games to get Goody and Mark Murphy out of there. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think it was an absolute shit fest. But I like the Mike Anderson TVs out there saying, all right, I'll be the hero that everybody wants.
Yeah, I was going through these and I was trying to really think in my head, is this an overreaction or do people legitimately feel this?
Alarmingly loud crowd saying this.
Yeah, a lot
of people saying that. We'll ask Aaron tomorrow about everybody's thoughts on the internet about that. Let's continue to head around the internet. Let's go to Xavier Hubble at Hubble Xavier. So that would be upsetting if your name was Xavier Hubble, but only Hubble Xavier was available. Yeah. I bet you he was banking on there being no other Xavier Hubble. And then there was an Xavier Hubble, and he's like, fuck it, put the last name first, comma, then first name out there. Shout out to Hubble Xavier. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Big Ben must have logged on to his Brazzers account during halftime because the Bills couldn't touch us. Can't touch us. I want 2 Brazzers at the halftime, and I grab my pocket. No, all right. That was crazy. That second half looked like a much different football team.
We talked in the first half. Ben looked kind of rattled. He didn't look comfortable. 4 new starters on the O-line. It looks like he kind of settled in the second half. Much better performance.
Took a load off.
Yeah, he did.
Damn it, Tito. told you.
There's a couple grammatical errors in that tweet, but obviously you got to do what you got to do. The words got out there. It made sense. At Ryan Urbe, hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Dolphins winning the East this year. Hashtag fins up. At Bubba Gumpino, Gumpy, our resident Dolphins fan. This is a Dolphins show. You guys win the East area. Buffalo Bills look like they don't know what they're doing. Lost the second half against Pittsburgh Steelers. New England Patriots lost the ends. Jets. Gonna be a long road with that roster, my friend. And it seems we'll be talking like this till the end. Zach Wilson will make some plays, but all we'll say is it's gonna be a long road. Yeah. Maybe the Dolphins do win the fucking East, huh? Is that the case, Gumpy? Is that how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, we're at the top right now. 3-point dogs at home against the Bills coming up next Sunday. Let's go.
The Jets are going to have a long road, by the way.
They also just lost Mekhi Becton, their left tackle, for 4 to 6 weeks. So.
That was a devastating, as he was getting carted out, what he was saying was, why? Yeah. And we were wondering the same thing, and I think Zach Wilson was as well. I think that team, by the way, the culture is all much better than maybe it has been in a long time. Mm-hmm. But I think when Aaron, which we'll have to ask him about if he meant it or not. But when Aaron said, like, when I was talking to Zach, like, hey, that roster is going to take a little bit of time after they had just practiced together, was that Aaron observing this and reporting this, or just understanding, like, there's a reason they had, top 5 picks so many times? Yeah. I think that's probably the case. And I like what they're doing over there. They had a kicker punt a ball 68 yards. I love that. Amendola absolutely slaughtered the ball after a knee injury, I guess, to Braden Mann. And Brant Boyer is one of the greatest special teams coordinators in the league. He had a fire department in New York hat on yesterday, and Bob Sala, I love his energy. But I just think that's going to be a long one over there. And if Buffalo and New England are going to play this way, I mean, maybe it is Dolphins time. Okay. Hey, maybe we're going down 305. Another Cocaine Cowboys documentary come out. Maybe Miami's thriving more than any. Everybody's moving to Miami.
Yep.
People are partying in Miami again, as if it was like, back in the day when Miami was the destination spot. The Dolphins are winning. Hey, let's go 305. Huh? Let's go Miami. Are you clapping, Connor? You agree?
I'm doing a nice little slow clap because we'll see him in the end. It's going to come down to that Week 18 for the Pats. I don't know. The Dolphins might be at the top still, but I know that at the end of the season, it's probably going to be, hey, we got to win this and then we're in. But if not.
Big shout out to Ryan Urbe, hashtag PMS Overreaction. Mondays here, trended in, I think, 4 minutes. We appreciate you all so much. At Jesse Fredrickson, at JFred_33. He used to run the ball for the football teams he played for. Hit number 3-3. And hey, when that 3-3 was hitting the hole, or when 3-3 was scraping over top of the linebacker position,
scary.
Hey, Jesse Fredrickson did not fuck around on football field. Jesse Fredrickson says, Pat, I don't want to overreact, but the teams out of the NFC best are all going to be a problem for Tampa Bay. Murderers Row went 4-0 yesterday, and none of them were even challenged. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Seahawks blew out the Colts.
Yeah.
Now, there's points left on the board, but I think Russell Wilson, if he needed to, he could have won again if he had to. Obviously, everything that happened with the Cardinals and the Titans has led us to believe, holy hell, what the Rams did to the Bears and then the Niners, they ended up only winning by 8, but they were up 20-some. That team set. Yeah. That team set that the NFC West has been cooking for a couple years now, right? The talent has been built. It feels like all the organizations and franchises have done like, hey, we're going to go all in here. And they're all iron sharpening iron, right? It's just like the Houston Texans when Peyton Manning was Indianapolis Colts. They were building their team strictly to beat the Indianapolis Colts. And everybody's team got better, but nobody really knew about it because it was like the Colts division. AFC East, same type of shit, but it was the Patriots division. Even though teams would win against other divisions, everything like that, this is the Patriots division. It's going to happen right now in the AFC West with the with the Chiefs, but the Chargers, an incredible football team. It's happening right now there. This NFC West, everybody has had to up their game because if you're an owner, if you're a GM out there, it's like, hey, everybody else is getting better but us. Are we just going to get shit on for the next 10 years? It almost forces everybody's hand. I love the Murderers Row. I love the NFC best, and this is going to make the 4 o'clock slate awesome all year, and I'm very thankful for all of them. I don't love what Seattle did to the Colts yesterday, but I do like for the rest of the year that is going to be a hell of a watch, I think, for everybody.
Is there any thought that those teams just might end up killing each other and that by the end of the season they're going to be so worn out that when they do end up making it to the playoffs, inevitably 3 or 4 of them, that they might be a little banged up?
So you go to 17 games, you add an extra non-division game.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a chance, right, that their records, I think there's some sort of thing that 3 of them can make it in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now you'd have to have the leader, obviously,
Right.
but it'd be very difficult. But somebody's going to have to lose unless they just tie. What if they all just tie?
Every division game.
Every division game.
Oh,
They should
man.
do
They all just tie. Hey, listen, we put a lot of money into all this.
Yeah.
Kroenke's like, I just built a $9 billion stadium. SoFi Stadium looked beautiful, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So nice.
Sean McVay afterwards, by the way, with the ball goes, built this with his money, right? Almost like they're saying, like, Chargers, hey, you kind of like co-signing in this thing. Kroenke ended up doing that, but I mean, that NFC West is awesome. Let's continue to hit the internet streets with hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. At Sergeant Mo, at Sneakerhead Dad. This guy does have children. He has procreated. Congrats on fornicating and successfully completing his seed pass to an egg receiver, and also still not giving up the love of sneakers.
Yeah.
All right, hey, listen, we have a baby. We can find money for other shit. I'm still getting my shoes. I'm Sneakerhead Dad, Sergeant Mo. Love Sergeant Mo. I aspire to be like Sergeant Mo someday. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Nick Sirianni, Coach of the Year candidate. Yeah. Love to hear his acceptance speech live. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the dog shit out of the Atlanta Falcons. Man. Kyle Pitts had 4 receptions or something like that. He's probably going to be a good football player. Okay, we said that. Matt Ryan looked lost out there. Yep. Jalen Hurts was fucking balling. Nick Sirianni, he might play rock, paper, scissors with the guys. He might shoot hoops with the guys. He might show them clips of, instead of Joey fucking Chestnut, showing them clips of
Takairu
Kobayashi. There might be a lot of interesting things that come out of Sirianni's mouth. He had them boys ready to go week 1. Jalen Hurts looked like a baller. The Falcons looked terrible. Coach Sirianni, did you know this is what the team was going to look like? And at this moment, are you feeling a little bit like a stooge, or you feel pretty good about everything that's going on? You in particular, Coach Sirianni.
No, not at all, because what I did is I slow played my hand leading up to this game. I talked to a team last night. I said, this is all about logistics. And what I mean by that is, I am a big UPS guy. What can Brown do for you? I don't know if many of you know this. The Atlanta Falcons head coach's dad founded FedEx. What? I fucking hate FedEx. This is about I told Jalen, this is logistics. We're trying to get the football from point A to point B being the end zone. We're going to do it efficiently. We're going to do it effectively, and we're going to win this football game. So all the stuff leading up to this, I knew what we had in store. I knew what the Falcons were going to,
Football is a logistics game.
It's all about logistics, and I've always been a UPS guy. So I had a little chip on my shoulder competitively. I said, you know what? This guy comes from the nutsack of someone who created FedEx, and I fucking hate FedEx. What can Brown do for you?
What's he going to do next week, I wonder? Is he going to be able to inspire the team next week? I wonder, without this deep of a hatred for something related to the head coach of the other team, will he be able to repeat it? I hope so. He was incredible to watch, that Philadelphia Eagles team. It's a new era over there. It's the Sirianni area. It's a beautiful thing. What's up, Diggs?
Care if I ask Coach a question?
Please.
Coach, why do you use a carpenter's pencil in your hat versus just a normal pencil or a pen?
Well, because you need the thicker lead. You're going to go through adversity in the game. You're going to break the lead a couple times. It's very possible. Early, the Falcons looked good. They came out. They went right down the field. They shoved it right down our throats. But then after that, you snap that lead off, and you get that extra piece of thick lead. And guess what? You turn the page.
Coach, you're a big plastic fork break while you're using it thing, huh?
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to get stuff fly on you, and you're going to look like a doofus, and you're going to have to deal with that. But I'll tell you what, that thick lead, that's what our football team's all about. Resiliency, toughness, and always responding when you need to compete.
Anytime I see this thick lead, I just think, blueprints are being.
Yeah, exactly.
They're drawing out. They're drawing out very loose on the blue line thing. That's unbelievable. I do love Sirianni. I think I love him mostly because this is my exact thing. Yeah. But if this guy is going to win a bunch of games, let's go. MC Dacey's going to put them boys in a fight. But Sirianni's going to have some actual meaningful press conferences that everybody's going to see and hear, and I can't wait for it. He is a deep-thinking dude. I don't think that – I hope that is what this show has done. I mean, you probably burned a bridge with this guy, but he is a deep-thinking guy, I think. And if this team can respond to it, who knows where they can go? Maybe all the way to the top. Maybe Philadelphia Eagles are a problem out there.
Did the Colts miss Sirianni yesterday?
I'll tell you what. We did miss a big son of a bitch that they were calling Godzilla in Japan, and that's Anthony fucking Costanzo.
Yeah.
That was evident.
Probably could have went after Orlando Brown Jr. if you really look back to the offseason.
I guess he didn't have his greatest game, but imagine putting his ass right next to Quentin Nelson, right next to Ryan Kelly. I assume that they would maybe, I don't know. Quentin Nelson also, I still got the utmost faith in Quentin Nelson.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think he had a good game. I'm assuming he had a good game. He's Quentin Nelson. If not, he just had foot surgery a week and a half ago.
Yeah. However.
All right, give this guy another week or so. But yeah, there's been a couple free agents that are maybe available. We could have brought in there. But we don't do that. We build from within. We're going to win. Hey, everybody's turning on the Colts.
Uh-huh.
Not me.
Not you.
Not you.
Well, and Orlando Brown was going up against Myles Garrett and Clowney. And you tweeted a couple times. They were just, hey, see you there.
So I got a chance to watch Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. Okay? They literally, I think it was 93, 98 or 98, 93, Bring the Heat Boulevard. Okay, is actually what they called it. And it was a street, obviously, that went straight from where they were right to the sternum of said quarterback. And they were trying to meet each other at the court. That was literally what they were trying to do. Because if you do that, guess what? That ball's coming out. All right? And who knows who they're going to give the sack to, but they were trying to compete with each other there. It was a beautiful thing. I got to watch the tail end of it. Anytime there was a big third down, or if it was fourth quarter, they're trying to either catch up or something, and it's 4th and 10. Anytime there was an obvious passing situation that the other team needed, it felt like it was a guarantee that Freeney and Mathis, somebody was going to get there. If not, both of them were going to be racing for the sack. If that's what Clowney and Garrett are going to do to each other this year, those are some fucking freaks, dude.
Yeah.
Those are some freaks. Myles Garrett, he's dunking, doing windmill dunks in the offseason. At some point. Clowney was the original, that human right there is much different than all. He can jump faster than you. He can run faster than you. He's much taller than you. He's much stronger than you are. He seems to be smarter than you. And everything about it. And then Myles Garrett, aside from when he decided to take old Rudolph's helmet off and hit him off the head, hit him in the head with his own helmet and potentially decapitate him with one swing of the helmet. That situation, if those two are just playing their best football, there's not a lot of any tackles can do, because you can only chip so much. You can only chip so much. You can only slide a tight end over to that side to get a chip before getting off the line, or offset a running back to hit that before he gets out. Because when you got two guys, that's a problem. Steelers got it too. T.J. Watt, Melvin Ingram. Then you got Cam Hayward right up the gut, picking people up, doing 10 quarterback pressures. A great D-line is impossible to fucking stop, especially with this modern offense right now. There's some teams, I think, we don't like to overreact on Overreaction Monday.
No.
But if your team has a D-line, I think you should be very excited. Okay, the NFL, what it's turning into. 58 passes for some quarterbacks, 50-some for other quarterbacks, 50-some for other quarterbacks. It feels like it's becoming a rather pass-happy league, even more so than it already was before, because the new spread and move and run, the space you can use, the offenses and the rules are almost calling for more passes. You'd be a fool not to throw the ball more option. And they even have an extension of the run game as another pass in there. If you have a disrupting defensive line, I think it was very apparent yesterday, if you do or don't, you got to be feeling very good. That's why the Cardinals over there.
Yeah.
The Rams also got it too. The Seattle Seahawks fucking did so much damage to the Colts. I guess that's just standard over there in the NFC West. But I think that's one of the first indicators we should be looking at on who's going to make a run, who's got a freak nasty defensive
line. And on
line.
that play where they met each other, Romo, in his only good moment of the game, pointed out that Mahomes sets up 13 yards deep on third down, and they just basically met at that point.
Yeah, and by the way, he sets up at that point because he is a video game.
Correct.
Yeah.
He literally runs backwards full speed. Who else? Zach Wilson had one yesterday.
Yeah.
He was sprinting backwards full speed, and I saw his combine throw that he made off, and it was just a screen pass, but he was running backwards full speed, sidearm around a guy, and it was just on a rope. It's that's that arm talent that people talk about. Hey, this dude's arm is live. This is a live arm. That whole Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to run 30 yards backwards to throw the ball 70 yards forward to pick up a 35-yard. It's just
genius.
It's fucking unbelievable. I don't know how you stop it, because if he can get away for long enough, Tyreek Hill is fastest dude in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, Scotty Miller says I got something to say about that, but I think at this point it is very well known that Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest humans to ever walk this earth, I think. You got Travis Kelce, who also probably has a backer on him at any time. If he can delay for long enough, that's why they know.
Yep.
And I wonder if they even say, on a side, okay, here we go. Hey, let's play that style where it's just who gives a fuck. All right.
Backyard football.
You got it. And then Pat's stiff arm. Patrick Mahomes is stiff-arming people in the chest while holding the ball and throwing it. And I'm like, why doesn't every other quarterback do this? Why doesn't every other quarterback do this? And it's like, oh, because Patrick Mahomes is an alien. Because Patrick Mahomes is an absolute alien. It seems like it's a rigged game almost when he's out there, especially with the weapons he has in the Andy Reid draw-up. They look like they're fucking unbelievable. But if you got a great defensive line, we can see that they can feast. They can become a problem for anybody, including Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and like that Browns team, it's like the old Colts team. So they get up early and then they force the other team to have to throw the ball, for the next 3 quarters. Garrett and Clowney can go and eat like they did yesterday.
That was exactly what that's basically what Bill Polian was doing.
Yeah.
Bill Polian built the offense. He was like, all right, we're going to build this thing for a lead, and then what do we need on defense? Okay, so we need 2 great pass rushers. We need a safety that can tackle in the box and fly around because there's going to be a lot of balls coming out there. And then, we won a lot of games there. But if anybody gets hurt, there's not a lot of depth because you're very top-heavy or whatever. Let's get to a break here in this second hour on this beautiful Overreaction Monday, September 13th. Quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Clyde Christensen.
Yeah. Here we go.
We'll ask him, obviously, about how the Bucs feel, how Thursday night went. A lot of turnovers. What are we doing?
What's going on?
We're going to tighten that shit up.
Interesting.
And also his thoughts just on week 1 in general, like how you're supposed to look at it from a guy who's coached Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and now Tom Brady.
Damn.
Not a lot of people, and me, by the way.
Of course. True.
And me, obviously. Can't wait to chat with Clyde. If you haven't heard him speak, you're going to love him by the end of it. Clyde Christensen of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers joins us on the other side of this 4-minute break. We'll see you then. Cheers. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't even know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening. Yeah. I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah.
Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your teammate. Yeah. Assume Raj had to walk in there and do a full, you know what I mean?
Yeah, curtsy.
Hey, we're coming. We're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and McLean? You think she liked them?
Yeah. I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? That was spot on accent.
Hit that one out of the park.
Like, what if she's really dialed in to the NFL?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to Overreaction Monday on the Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Joining us now is one of my favorite humans to ever exist. Okay? You heard that story about Red 18?
Yep.
The only reason why I was on that trip is because this man told the sheriff, I think you should have the punter ready. He was my quarterback coach. Whenever I got to Indianapolis, he was offensive coordinator at one point. Always has been an absolute living legend. Once coached Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and now Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback coach for the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Clyde Christensen.
Yeah!
How you doing?
Good to be back with you.
Hey, is that your board behind you there? You got 20 on there for me? You owe me 20. Oh, film. We're watching film.
Yeah,
oh, I love that.
I really hadn't. I just put it up there for this show. It's just it doesn't move, but just a picture.
Hey, that's a smart idea to have back there. Always prepared, always ready. Let's talk about your team. Let's talk about your room. Tom looked dialed in on Thursday night. There was obviously turnover margin was not great. You only win like 8% of the time when you're -3, but there was obviously a Hail Mary, a deflection there. Tom looks great right now. Is this what you expected? And do you think there's a little bit more shit to him here early this season than maybe you saw last year, Coach?
Yeah, I think he's way ahead of last year. Way ahead of last year. Last time I talked to you, I just think he's feeling good. He's feeling healthy. He's feeling comfortable. I'll be shocked if he doesn't get off to a much better start. He already is, and he was extremely sharp. We didn't do everything right like most opening days, but we sure made a bunch of big plays, and he sure made some big-time throws out there. So, yeah, I think we're way ahead of last year. I think he feels better. I think he feels better mentally. I think he feels better physically, and obviously at this time last year we were just getting acquainted. We just met, literally there was no off season last year. So I do think we're ahead, and we got a long ways to go, but it was fun to win that opener. It was fun to have fans back in there. It was fun to play that big game on Thursday night, and then sit back and watch everyone else's ulcers churn all Sunday and Saturday and Sunday afternoon. So it's you know how those Thursday night wins are. They're fun to win.
Yeah, it's a nice 3-day weekend ahead of you whenever you win on Thursday night. Well, I have to go back to a moment that was captured on NBC that night. They go up, okay, with like 1:20 or something left, and there's a shot of Tom Brady literally staring at the field, and then he just turns his head, and it's like everybody on earth knew exactly what was going to happen there. Everybody on earth. Are you around him there? Do you just stay the hell out of the way? How does that whole thing go? And at what point does he flip that switch, you think?
When he gets that look, you stay out of the way. You hope it's not directed at you, and you're happy it's not directed at you, and that it's directed at the opponents and whatever has fired him up. And I'm like you. You just there's nothing like having a quarterback that you and I both had one for a lot of years. That no matter what the score, you just are never out of it. You get a 2-minute drive, you leave a minute plus on the clock, and you just know you have a great chance to win the football game. And so, great way to start the season. Game winner and 2-minute, and Dallas's offense is formidable. Dak played awesome, and but
But that was good for us, and it was a good learning experience. I think anything with all the Super Bowl hangover, any of that stuff got knocked off, and we were a little bit humbled and know how good film showed how much work we got to do. So, hey, that's a good way to get this thing kicked off.
I know a couple of the boys are going to ask you about Dak because what he did, what you just said, unbelievable. Coming out of that injury with so many days off, he just let that thing eat. A lot of the boys are going to ask you about that. But I wanted to ask you about Tom Brady because I want to ask you about Tom and Peyton and Luck even. What do you think it is that separates? Patrick Mahomes seems to have this. Yesterday, you watch it. It was almost like watching on TV. You knew when Patrick and Travis Kelce and them were going to flip this switch. You almost like, it felt like, oh, they go. What do you think it is, like mentally, that really some of these guys have that some people don't have?
I think it's kind of a perfect storm. I certainly think God blessed them with a bunch of ability to play that position, but then they work unbelievably hard, how they prepare, and then I just think it's no surprise. They got a little bit of swagger. They know they're prepared, and they just believe that they're going to win that thing. Tom, I said it to you before, just last year, I don't think anyone in this building thought we were going to win the Super Bowl at the end of at the halfway point of the season, other than him and Bruce Arians, that they just believe something good's going to happen all the time. And I think those guys just have a swagger, and they have a gene that the rest of us didn't get sometimes, that they kind of thrive on it. They just play their best football when the pressure's on, and they just always think you're going to come out on top. They just believe it, and when you don't, they're in shock. They're in shock. They're surprised. They just believe it's going to happen. So I do think that they do have a little bit of a confidence level or a swagger level that the average guy doesn't have. I think there's an awful lot of quarterbacks in this league who aren't sure that it's going to happen. That which is an equally bad feeling. And we probably coached some and been around some where you weren't sure, you were pretty sure it wasn't going to happen, and that's not a good feeling. That you have to get lucky, but man, when you see him take the field, you just go, this guy's going to take us down the field, and we're going to win this football game. That's what's going to happen.
Man, I know there's going to be memes made about me, but I'm happy to be this guy's fucking quarterback coach. I am happy to be this guy.
Amen.
Coach, before the boys have some questions for you, and we can't thank you enough for joining us here. Incredible film study. I'm sure you're in the middle of it, and you will be tested and everything like that by everybody. But you've been around the NFL a long time. How many years you been coaching in the NFL?
25 plus, I guess. Feels like a couple, one or two, but it has been a blast, and I'm glad we found our young quarterback of the future here at Brady, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to hang on that long. He's got 10 or 15 in him. I'm not sure I do, but gosh, he just looks young and fresh and fun to watch work. It's amazing.
I agree. In your 25-year experience, though, because we are literally, our show is called Overreaction Monday, okay? And we do it every single week. We lose our minds to what happened yesterday. And we maybe are a part of peddling the overreaction around the internet. And I do feel bad, but there are some teams that watched their teams play yesterday or maybe even on Thursday where this season's already over or we already won the Super Bowl. And your 25-year experience, even with the Buccaneers now, like how much growth do you expect from your team over a season and how much change really can happen? Because I think night and day can legitimately happen on teams.
Yeah, and I think it did for us last year. I mean, I'm not sure we didn't start out in the bottom 5 teams in the league, how we started out playing, and then ended up, I don't think till we were did I ever think we were the best team in the league. And so I think a bunch can happen. I think it's tough on quarterbacks. These expectations are so high. Everyone jumps to conclusions. And, you think it's the fans, but it's inside buildings too. All of a sudden people are in a panic and inside of these buildings. And I think it's the head coaches and management that stay together. And for the long haul, I think it's one of the reasons these quarterbacks aren't developing. There's so many changes of staff. There's so many changes of system. There's so many changes of quarterbacks that, it's hard to stabilize and just improve. You got to put yourself. I thought Coach Dungy always did a great job of just having a long view of this thing that you were going to keep. We weren't going to switch out all these different positions. We were just going to keep improving, keep doing what we do, and keep improving. We weren't going to panic and throw in somebody else's offense in week 4 because we hadn't been scoring touchdowns. You just were going to stay with it, and it just doesn't happen much in this league. People don't stay with their system. People don't stay with their quarterback. People don't stay with their people, so to speak. So I think I'm lucky. I've been around pretty stable places and pretty stable guys and pretty stable quarterbacks. But it really is. It discourages me, especially with these young quarterbacks that need a chance to develop. I mean, we drafted one last year, and hopefully he won't have to play for a few years. But he sits there and he watches Tom Brady. He gets coached. He practices, and it's a whole different thing than all of a sudden you come in as a savior of the city and the savior of the franchise, and it's really unfair. And by the way, if you're the best player, you go to the worst teams and the biggest need to rebuild. So that can be a curse. That can be a curse. And next thing you know, you've been playing. After the first year, you're labeled as a bust, and you're going through all those issues of people seeing you as a bust, which is hard to overcome. And so yeah, it is. That's real. I think we laugh about it, but that's real, and I think it's real inside and outside of buildings.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, we do it as a joke of how everybody acts, and we're actually feeling these ways, but we're out there. And I'm happy you said it, but it's real. There's some key positions in some buildings where they read and see and they react and adjust just like the normal fan would be. And they have the say. I don't even know if they know they have the say to be like, yeah, get them out. It's like, oh, you're just going right back into this thing. But there are some times, Coach, where week one is exactly who we thought they were. You just got to hope that your team is either on the good side of that and not the wrong side of that. Go ahead, Ty.
Coach, going back to Dak, obviously you have a bunch of stuff on your plate. But like during these games, like on Thursday night, do you ever kind of just sit back and get to appreciate what like how he's playing? Because obviously, like as fans, we knew what to expect from you guys. We kind of knew what was going to happen. But I think a majority of the people took away from that game like, wow, Dak was very, very impressive, and he's back 100%.
Yeah, I was really interested, because he hadn't played in the preseason, and so yeah, I do. I kind of become a fan there at points in the game, and I'm watching, and then even just usually I'll watch the day after the game. We had extra days this week because it was a Thursday game, and just go back and watch him, and it was really impressive. And to get hit, to have the injury that he had, and to go back in there against a couple good pass rushers and just sit in the pocket, keep your eyes downfield, I thought it was unbelievably impressive. And I've always admired Dak and the work he puts out there, and man, I thought that was off the charts good performance on the road. First time playing in a while, first time crowd noise, playing from behind a good chunk of the game, and he takes them down on what could have been a game-winning 2-minute drive. It was a heck of a performance, and thank goodness, we had a little something to say about it at the very end of the thing. But he had a great day, and that was impressive. Tough man, tough-minded, tough physically, and I got a lot of respect for him. I've never met him, but a lot of respect for him.
I want to follow up on the Cowboys real quick because they're Cowboys fans. I think, there's no such thing as a consolation prize, but your team is so good with so many great players. I think Cowboys fans are very optimistic about the future. That defense, did they obviously look much different than the defense they were last year whenever you guys played against them? And did they do anything that really, what did you expect from them? What did you get from them?
Yeah, I'll tell you, these games are really hard on coaches because so many staffs have changed. They had a new defensive coach. You don't have any film. I was watching Hasselbeck last week. He was in one of our cut-ups, against this defensive coordinator. So that tells you, that was a long time ago. But you're just trying to piece together. It's the same this week. We play Atlanta, a new defensive staff, and a new head coach, a new defensive coordinator, and it's extremely hard to get a beat on people, especially until you start getting some films and see what they're going to become. So fortunate for us is they play sound, good, fairly simple football. So they weren't. It was pretty much what we thought. It's kind of that Seattle system and a lot of 3 deep, and but they did a couple things that threw us for a loop, and we were slow to react to, but they did a really nice job. But these weeks on coaches and on quarterbacks are extremely hard just because you don't have film, and then the league turns over so much. I don't know how many new defensive coordinators there are, but I bet almost near half of them are changed from last year. So your film from all last year is worthless to you.
Hey, just do what Jalen did. I mean, I think Tom could do that.
Yeah.
They had a lot of success. You guys are going to be hitting a buzzsaw from that Atlanta team, though. I mean, they got embarrassed at home there. I mean, that's something you have to also play into it. You know what I mean? Especially with the target on your guys. Oh, at all times. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Coach. Right before half, Tom threw a little Hail Mary ball that got returned a decent way. But at the end of the play, Tom threw his throwing shoulder into the chest of a Cowboys D-back. Did you tell him, like, hey, we can't have you getting injured like this, or are you just going to let him compete out there?
I didn't see it because my eyes were closed, and I had my hands over my eyes. And once it came breaking out of there, you're always going, "Oh no, it's going to get to the quarterback." Kind of like on returns, and it gets to the kicker. But I always cringe. I always try to say, "Go low," just take your shot there. But that was a little bit overexciting at the end of the half there, and that guy came ripping out of there. So I always cringe at that, and. You sure don't want to lose a quarterback that way. And the Hail Mary, he made a heck of a throw on the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a chance at that thing, and we messed up our timeout situation before that. We blew a timeout at the end of the half and at the end of the game, which we got to clean up because that would have really made it a lot easier to do it because we could have thrown the ball inside those hashes and still burned the timeout and got those points.
Yeah, there were some things that were ugly. You guys won -3 turnover. Like that doesn't happen. So I assume you guys were both optimistic about that and also like, the hell's going on? Like, all right, let's go ahead and week 2 cannot have week 1 stuff. I assume is the statement around there.
I would say that we've always acknowledged we're not normal around this joint. We kind of do things wild and woolly, and so that's certainly the case. That was Coach Arians' message to them. Hey, but we don't want to make a living trying to beat 90% odds. That's not the way to make a living. But I do think that sometimes when you have a franchise quarterback like we have, that those numbers are for the average man. Those numbers are for the average man, and we don't have an average guy at quarterback, so sometimes they go down the tube a little bit.
Oh, that was awesome. That's Coach. Hey, that is Coach right there. Last question here, Coach. We can't thank you enough for joining us. You're the best. Go ahead, Coach.
It's been good.
Coach, there was a moment on the last drive where it seemed like there was a play called in, and Tom looked at his wristband and then shook his head at the sideline and then called another play. Does Tom have the ability, I assume he does, to shake off a play and then call whatever he wants? And do you know if that was the situation there?
Yeah, it was more. Ours was more the situation. We were trying to figure out how to run some time off the clock, and so I think it was more of a misunderstanding of what we were trying to get done with the running the time off the clock. We called a couple double outs where 2 guys are working the sideline. We just really wanted to throw that ball out of bounds. Take some time off. Don't leave them time after the field goal attempt, and so it was more of that than it was shaking off a play in this case. And but he always has it's talked through. He has a lot of things he can go to at any time. And but I think he was thinking, hey, I don't want to throw one over there by the sideline where something bad could happen. And I think our intention offensively was, hey, we just want to throw this thing out of bounds and run 4 or 5 seconds off the clock 3 times and take that thing down where there wasn't going to be more plays.
And that's happening in live speed with Byron Leftwich and him making decisions, which, by the way, if you have Tom Brady, you'd like him to be a part of the decision, I'd assume. Like, hey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so Byron's saying, hey, do you want to blah, 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 blah? Tom with a, okay, then we'll do this. That's awesome. Like, that is great communication in a very high-pressure moment, right?
Yeah, and then you add in the head coach, and in our case, the head coach is, it's his offense, that it's his offense. So sometimes, he'll in the heat of battle give us something, and he knows exactly what he wants and why he wants it, and maybe he might be the only one who knows exactly why he wants what he wants. And, so we unfolded it. It wasn't as smooth as it will be down the road in this season, but we got it unfolded and ran some time off and suck up.
Those are some
hit
great
the kick and didn't leave him a whole bunch of time. So we got the end result we were looking for. Sometimes isn't as smooth, and just to play that first game, it's hard to prepare for. Those guys haven't played many snaps, and we try and protect them, and you try and create as many situations as you can. But it's a little bit different out there on the grass on a Thursday night national TV game with a full house. It's a little bit different.
And that's a great situation to learn from going forward, by the way. So now that you have that one under control, there'll probably be another situation where it'll pop up. You guys will run through it again in practice, and it'll be like, oh, this was exactly what we had before the half there. I mean, I can't wait to watch your team grow, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship, and for having me on the show.
No, you're great. Anytime you want to come on, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback coach, Super Bowl champ of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Clyde Christensen. Thank you, Clyde. He's the man.
Yes. Yeah.
knows everybody, everything, has been in every situation everywhere, has shook the hand of whoever you are, and probably is going, hey, how about when you, I think what you did was, 3rd and 6, I think you, and they'll go, yeah, and he's, brilliant. We took that into the, his job is literally just like, how do you wrangle, okay, how do I benefit, or how do I add to the greatest of all time? How do I add to these people that are super high level? And it takes a real finesse. I think Popovich, there's a rap song, I think it's a Wale song called Popovich, where it's a speech from Popovich basically saying, like, how do you get the best out of every person that you have on your team? Whether somebody that doesn't want to buy in or whatever, how do you make them the best? How do you do this? And it was a Popovich speech basically about how you become, it's not about like everything I draw up on the floor, okay? Especially in the NBA. It's about how do I get the absolute best out of these people who are superstars, have been their entire life. These other people are maybe a little bit selfish. Maybe these other people are too unselfish. How do you get the best out of them? And that's like Clyde, I think, Semo is like, I'm dealing with the most high-end motherfuckers. How do I get them to be a little bit better? How do I not, enforce anything that I think without really acknowledging and appreciating their brain as well? That's a part of the entire managing thing. He's the fucking best.
Well, and I'm sure coaches love the week after a game like that where you win, but it's still like they have stuff to coach all week, like, and guys understand that, like, hey, we didn't just go out and dog walk them. Like, we have stuff we need to work on. It's probably a coach's dream after, you win still, but it's like, hey, now we got to go to work this week.
Let's not make a living out of beating 90% odds, all right? Right? And I love that whole stats are normally for the common person.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That is an awesome way to look at it. We have to start thinking about that whenever we start looking at stats, because it was 3 of 31, 3 of 34 times since the merger. A team who's -3 in the turnover margin has won. So that's about 8% or whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's like, we got like a 0.08% guy.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Let's go to Chris in Oregon on the 5-hour energy phone line. Oregon, big win over Ohio State. In the shoe.
Yeah.
In the shoe. The Ducks come quacking in. What do you want to talk about, Chris?
Hey, Pat, where's AJ at?
AJ's at some...
He goes quiet when they lose?
Well, that is fascinating. He was pretty upset about the loss, by the way. He acts like he doesn't care as much as he does. I was getting a lot of texts from him about the decisions that were being made by Ohio State coaches and other situations where he's like, what the fuck are they doing? He was telling me. And I didn't know because I was on my back porch hitting golf balls, to be honest. But then I came in, saw the fourth quarter. I'm like, what the hell's going on here in the shoe? They got some questions that need to be answered. But if you're Oregon, you got to say, hey, these Ducks are back flying high. Hey, when there's a little bit of humidity and there seems to be overcast in Columbus, Ducks fly together. When Bryce Young's getting a start, Ryan Day doesn't know what's going on.
Ducks fly together.
When the drum major in the first home game of the season, and it's a big deal because he's got to go dock that motherfucking eye, comes sprinting down the hill and lands flat on his face, telling the entire world, you're -14.5 bet. Bow. You're -13.5 bet. Bow. Is probably fucking cursed. Ducks fly together. All right, Chris, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, Tone, Nick, Steelers are back. I called when the Browns lost last year, and I don't think we should have rebuilt. Big Ben back. He looks better than ever. I love it, and I'm ready for a Super Bowl run right now.
Okay, Chris says let's go to the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland Browns might have something to say about that yet again. Diggs, your thoughts? Haven't even seen the Ravens play football yet, but your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe running on the Super Bowl here like Chris in Oregon said.
You're right. The Browns did look really, 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 really good.
They legit, hey, it won't get talked about. Chubb untouched a couple times.
They cleaned some things.
I could have scored a couple. And now Chubb's unbelievable as well. Like, let's not get it twisted here. He's a stud. But there was a couple where it's like the offensive line seems to be doing well. Defensive line seems to be doing well.
Kareem Hunt looked very
Kareem
good.
Hunt was running real hard back in Kansas City, obviously.
What happened to the Scottish Hammer? Well, he stove his thumbs.
That
was tough.
All right. And I did see that you posted my situation that was like that before, and I appreciate you bringing that back both into my memory and to the world's memory. I was fascinated by his decision there. I think he just got to like a panic zone where he's like, oh, I'm going to get the edge there.
Yeah.
And I think he's a freak. That guy, massive. He is a freak. Probably an incredible rugby player. I've never seen him. It's just one of those situations he's probably never been in before in the NFL. It's like, I respect Jamie a lot. I think he crushes footballs. That is the worst case scenario for punters, especially in the fourth quarter, by the way. Like now for the next probably 10 reps, unless he's mentally tougher than me, which probably is the case. Every time you go on the field now, the only thing you're thinking about is catching the ball, as opposed to like, oh, I got to do this or this. He'll get through it. This is a mental test that you hope doesn't happen on national TV against, number one team in your conference in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I would have. Michael Dixon, by the way, I don't know if that ball slipped out of his hand. I think it slipped out of his hand a little bit, and he tried to go on a run, and he broke a tackle, and he punted it against the Colts or whatever. It's just like, you got to. First thought is, how the fuck do I still punt this thing?
Okay, see, so that I was wondering, is it instinct to is it most guys' instinct to be like, okay, still got to get this thing off, or guys like him, it's like, oh, fuck it.
He's a lefty, right? So he was running to his right.
Oh.
So that is not necessarily the most easy thing, but there was a game against Gateway in high school. Okay, Gateway is where like Justin King came from, Morty Ivy. They were studs. Okay, they were sponsored by Jordan, I think.
Damn.
They
recruited.
Okay.
They potentially did have people that didn't necessarily live in it. This is where Corey Graves is from.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
now.
so it makes a lot of sense or whatever. Snapper, I don't even think the ball was in the air for more than a yard. That thing rolled like 14 yards. I think it slipped out of his hand. Because there's also a defensive end, I think, snapping for us. So, and a tight end. So high school snappers, asking them to go in there, gloves on, sweat all over. I mean, that is a very difficult task. So I think you rolled one back to me. I caught it. I could only get to my left. And I dropped it to punt that thing lefty, and I got speared halfway through that thing. That ball ended up in an entire fray, the whole thing. We didn't, obviously they got the ball as fourth down or whatever. I come to the sideline, and head coach Romito goes, need you not getting tackled. And then he just walked away, basically. He was like, need you. We lost. That was the night Justin King touched the ball 7 times. He had 6 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And the one time he didn't have it, I think I tackled him on a punt return where he would have scored. I think it was 7 for 7.
We had 12 starters out, including CFO Phil, because they cared more about going to McDonald's in the morning and showing up for school, and they got
Eaton Park, actually, not
Eaton
McDonald's.
Park,
they were out at Eaton Park, which is basically like a breakfast place, a local breakfast.
It's a place for smiles.
It is a place for smiles. It's unbelievable. It is delicious.
It is good.
Their buffet is very good. They got smiley cookies, very good, okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, but, everybody basically in the Plum Athletic Department decided to go get some food on this one particular day. I could not go because I had a test in French class. Second period. So all of my friends went to this thing. Everybody went. I legitimately could not go because my French grade was like very close.
Need to pass it.
Like I cannot do this. I have to go or whatever. 12 guys from the football team out. Soccer team had 7 guys out.
Jeez.
Yeah, because everybody wore their fucking Letterman jackets.
Smart.
Everybody wore their Letterman jackets, and then all of a sudden the old assistant principal, athletic director, assistant athletic director, which I don't know why we need that in our school. I don't know if our athletics were good enough at the time to need an assistant athletic director, but they almost had flashlights basically, and as everybody came in, they're like, yeah, come into this room right over here. And everybody just kind of joined everybody they were at Eaton Park with, and they were all just sitting in one room, and you're all suspended.
Ooh.
Well, CFO Phil promises to this day that he was not there.
Oh.
He slept in. Just so happened to sleep in on the wrong day.
And I didn't go because Coach would have severed my head and put it on top of the field goal post. So
it was a lot of seniors too. It was mostly the senior. It was like I was my senior class, his junior class. Yeah, but all the seniors on the soccer team gone. All the seniors on the football team gone. Basically,
that'll kill you. High school sports, you need those guys.
It was tough. And I almost felt like an asshole, but I looked like a goddamn hero. And this, you got to remember, this vice principal hated me. Athletic director hated me. Assistant athletic director fucking hated me. And literally everybody else that they loved is getting suspended. I'm just like, oh, what happened?
How could you?
You guys are fucking scumbag. I walked by the room they were all sitting in, and they were bunch of G's, so nobody's scared.
Sure.
Everybody, they're all sitting in there though, and they were just like, I'm like, no shit, not good. Yeah, all of you are in there right now. Yeah. A couple girlfriends were there as well. I mean, it was a mass exodus of suspension from the school, and we had to play a pretty good football team at that.
Yeah. You struck by that office though? Sons.
I did.
I believe they won the Whippeal that year, so yeah, it was a tough.
It was a tough game. It was a tough game. Yeah, I did a little poke in. Hey, were those fucking pancakes good?
Yeah, worth it, right?
Smiley cookies, we get them. Everything. God. how'd you guys do it? And then I was even getting the story from through the room, and they pointed, the soccer guys were pointing at the football guys for wearing their Letterman jacket.
Oh, these sons of bitches right here. That's
of course, this motherfucker. Yeah, it was that fucking asshole had to.
Right there. Cool jacket,
Oh, you guys wore jackets? No, they were pointing fingers right at the football team. It was awesome. What a moment. We lost bad.
Yeah, blowout sounds
Soccer
like.
team won, though. Soccer team still won because the class under us was they were very good.
Well, you still got to play too, right?
Yeah.
So-
I think I hit like a free kick against Fox Chapel that night from like 45 yards out. It was pretty late in the season, too. Like, pretty meaningful game.
You do like a pancake celebration after it, or like a little
Smiley
ode?
cookie.
Yeah.
It was not. I mean, we're talking about it in a much lighter mood than we were at the time. There was a lot of people that thought maybe their, potential, whether it was D2 or D3 schools, like we are not good enough to be getting suspended for the biggest game of the year, type shit. And to be clear, Plum is not very disciplined with much of anything. They came crashing down on that one. Don't be eating fucking breakfast when you're supposed to be in English class.
Probably made the paper.
I don't. Probably. I mean, I assume they had to be so pissed that I wasn't there, though. They had to be so mad.
Livid.
Fucking McAfee. He was eating money. That's
It was his idea,
They
wasn't
brought
it?
him food in.
He told us to do it.
And then Mademoiselle, I forget her name, was like, no, he in class. Thank you.
Goddamn right.
Thank you.
Yeah, merci.
Thank you. We. All right. Let's give me an okay, or a bay, or a say, not a day, or F. Hour 3's on the other side. We'll see you then with Demario Davis. Every Tuesday this football season, joining us, Aaron Rodgers. Every Tuesday. With that doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're both 10-1. I have long hair, and I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, and we both said, this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed. Yeah!
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. To get sentimental, this show is just another step in that.
What is the longest you've ever thrown? Do you even know that number, or do you not care?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Okay, nice, congrats.
I sometimes laugh when people talk about, down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
That was awesome! You said in the interview that you would add an extra finger to your scotch drink or whatever.
It was a long night. We didn't get home. I didn't get home till like 11:40.
Look at how much scotch that is. Is that what you did?
It's not that much.
That's 4 fingers, dude. You said you normally do 3. That's 4 right there.
But you have those fat sausages.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth?
One main reason. It is a true team sport. The love is not just about our sport. It's about competition. I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. Yeah, they wouldn't show it because I play for the Packers, but I had a pretty sweet no-looker to Devontae on the last drive that kind of set up for a few plays.
I'm so thankful Patrick Mahomes brought that into the NFL.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Yeah, I know. Since none of us have been doing it for a while. A guy who probably doesn't get anywhere near the credit for doing shit like that all the time. He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit.
There's a massive water pipe out there with vitamins, and I've been going pretty ham at that. Maybe that is the problem.
Hey guys, it's a plant, bro.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's
it. A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We know.
We know. We don't like that.
Swag, it's just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. The swag is a mentality. Swag is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. True swag is owning your inner essence.
Mm.
It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of you guys are just posers. I am very thankful for you guys, for this show, for the opportunity to have this Tuesday. I'm not going to say that it's the reason why we've played so well and I've had a good season, but I can definitely say that it's been a positive contributor the entire year, and I do have a lot of thanks and gratitude for that.
Aaron, thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
No. Don't you thank us. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you on here. I feel like I've learned so much about not only you, but life and football. Do you have any hilarious interactions with fans? Anybody ever say something just absolutely despicable to you?
There's been a bunch over the years. I think the rowdiest and the biggest trash talkers and the funniest trash talkers are in Philly.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You know, one of my idols growing up was Alex Trebek. They're doing some guest hosting spots, and it's going to be released here pretty soon, but I have the opportunity to do one of those.
Let's go! I am so thankful you joined us, man. The mustache looks incredible, and the fact you're wearing that shirt, I am eternally grateful for, pal.
Well, yeah, we might as well drop some bombs on this show. You know? There's no scrubs out there.
Have you watched the film on the game yet? Will you watch the film?
Yeah, I think like 4:20 on Saturday, probably p.m. Central Time.
Were you at all surprised to see the wild speculation out there after your post-game comments?
I don't feel like I said anything that I hadn't said before. It was more a realization, I think. Ultimately, my future is not necessarily in my control. Now, obviously, after the season that I had and, potentially win an MVP, we obviously made it another good run. I don't think that there's any reason why I wouldn't be back. I don't think people are used to hearing the truth from athletes. So when they hear the truth, it's so surprising at times. That's why this show, I think, has been so different. There's times where you let your mind go to maybe, I'm going to be a Packer for life. I'm going to be like a Tim Duncan or a Jeter or a Kobe and play with one team my entire career. I think naturally you dream about that.
I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human.
And you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't like some agenda doing this. It was like, fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week? Yeah, sounds pretty awesome. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me.
You know what? I'll say it. What? Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is happening.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3 on this Overreaction Monday, September 13th, 2021. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. We're going to be joined by a man whose team started out the season on quite a high note. The New Orleans Saints spanked the Green Bay Packers 38-3 down in Jacksonville. It was a blowout that none of us could have seen coming, except for the New Orleans Saints players and the New Orleans Saints fans. The man who's joining us right now has already started doing work with United Way to raise money for the people in the Panhandle dealing with Hurricane Ida, which has been a real pain in the ass for a lot of people. This man was actually quoted after the game as saying, our people don't have power. Okay, after what happened with Hurricane Ida. But they were watching this game. Much like back in the day when Hurricane Katrina came through and the Saints went on that magical run, it really felt as if Demario and the entire New Orleans Saints team felt like they had to put on for the people of the Panhandle down there after Hurricane Ida. Not only talking about it, being about it, raising money. Ladies and gentlemen, all-pro linebacker of the New Orleans Saints, Demario Davis. What up, dude?
What's going on, good people? What's going on?
Hey, where are you? You guys in Dallas? Are you in Jacksonville? Or are you in? Where are you right now?
We're in Dallas, getting ready. We just boarded the bus, getting ready to head to our Monday lift.
Okay, so
over at the TCU field.
Hey, Sean, by the way, I heard TCU field's very nice. Sean Payton said, hey, it's not just the players. We brought family. We brought everybody over there. Do you guys feel like you're in college right now? Like the entire, is it feel like it's brought you together more because you have to deal with all this, Demario?
It's certainly something. It's tremendous to the organization because they brought, our families, spouses, girlfriends, kids, just to make sure that everybody was able to evacuate safely, but at the same time, I guess, still feel like you're at home as best you can. But we're making the most of the situation.
I'd say, and by the way, that's what the people of New Orleans will do, right? I mean, that's kind of the way New Orleans gets by. What you're doing with the United Way, raising money. We're going to run the video on our show with the QR code. I mean, the Saints kind of stepping up and feeling that way about the area. Do you feel like you have to do that type of thing, or is it just at this point you feel one with the city so much, like let's go ahead and do this thing and put on for everybody?
It's a combination of both. I believe to whom much is given, much is required. That's kind of a mantra that I live by. We have these tremendous platforms, so we have to use them, especially when people are hurting, when people are in need. Everybody doesn't have the luxury to be able to just pick up and move and evacuate, when natural disasters come. And I think that's just part of being a human being and humanity. We bear one another's burdens, and so when you can lend a helping hand, you do it. And so the city and the area needs it. So anyone around the world wanting to help, doing it through United Way alongside us is a tremendous way to help. They do a great job of doing the research to figure out what areas need it the most. In times like this, a lot of people can kind of, use it and do different things with it. But, they're going to do the right thing. And that's why we chose to work alongside them. They're doing tremendous work. It's a lot of immediate needs. There's going to be a lot of long-term needs that are needed. A lot of resources are going to be needed for us to get ultimately where we want to be back in the city. And so even though we have our mission at hand to play these games, we still want to be on the front lines helping our people.
Hey, that's awesome, Demario. That's incredible. We will obviously donate. We'll put $10,000 in there. Hopefully, there'll be.
Thank you.
Hey, no, thank you for joining us, especially on the bus there. You sit back by the bathroom, huh? That was always where I like to hang out by there, too, all the way in the back. Or is this normal for you, or are you up in the front normally?
This is the spot, man. Ever since, back riding school in middle school, high school, the cool spot was the back of the bus, man. You just kept it the same.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Yesterday, you guys beat the dog shit out of the Packers. I mean, did you know in practice what type of team you had? Did you know that the defensive line was going to be a problem for that offensive line? Did you know Jameis Winston was going to be slinging that thing? How was the vibe of the team? There's been a lot of turnover, a lot of change, obviously. You guys just kicked the shit out of the NFC Championship back-to-back losers, Green Bay Packers, yesterday.
Well, we certainly felt good about our team. We certainly knew what type of team we were getting ready to face. Really good team. Stayed good for very many years. One of arguably, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. The Buccaneers. It was a really great team. And so we knew we had to come out firing on all cylinders. Play out there. You want to feel flicks. That's a good day at the office. But we were at the same time, there's some stuff that we want to clean up on tape, and that's what we're looking at today. Figuring out ways to get better. We're in the race to improve right now.
Hey, Demario, do you have your headphones connected or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay, get those things out of there. All right, we can't hear your beautiful voice right now. We can't hear anything. You're saying amazing stuff, I believe, and we can't hear a single thing you're saying. Can you hear us now?
Well, I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Uh,
Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
Right now, we're looking up the bus that the Saints are using.
Beautiful bus.
It is a beautiful bus.
Yeah,
and by the way,
can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah! Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, perfect. Demario, you guys beat the hell out of the Packers. You knew you guys had a good team going in there. Good day at the office. I don't think the Packers picked up a first down to the fourth quarter. What was the read on the Packers offense you guys hadn't coming in? Was it the same as playing them before? Did you change anything defensively? Why were you guys, and is this what the Saints defense is going to be all damn year?
We certainly have a high standard for ourselves on defense, week in, week out. And it all begins with the same formula: stop the run, get out the field on third down, create takeaways, put pressure. And fortunately, we were able to do all those things yesterday. And for us to continue to play at the level that we know we can and want to, we're going to have to continue to do that.
38-3. I mean, what does Sean Payton say after that game in the locker room? Like, hey, we beat the shit out of that. All right, let's run this thing back. What is the message after that? That is a dominant performance from front to back there. What's the message? How do you continue to grow on this?
The message is simple. That game is done. On to the next.
God, I love it. Jameis Winston, you guys obviously had confidence and faith in him, but what he did yesterday with that offense, I assume everybody was giving him massive love and praise and excited for his opportunities here as the New Orleans Saints quarterback with brand new eyes. Just got LASIK last year. Brand new eyes on Jameis Winston out there?
I think his progression has just been phenomenal as a player, as a person, as a leader. You can see the evolution. He's always been his reputation precedes him as far as his work ethic. He's always been one of the hardest working guys in the building. But leading guys at the quarterback position, it's so much that goes into that. To see his evolution, his growth as a player and as a man, and to be able to be coached by one of the best offensive minds ever in the history of the game, to be able to sit behind the Hall of Fame quarterback an entire year, which I know was very humbling to him, to be able to take that and to use it and to use it as a stepping stone. We need him to play great this year, and he has the capability of doing it, and he showed it yesterday. And I just think the sky's the limit. There's not a person, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, not a person in the building I'm more proud of than him, just because of the journey. I've had the opportunity to watch the journey, and he's handled that adversity and waiting for his moment and waiting for his time. I think as good as anybody can, and I think the world is going to be shocked by the version of Jameis Winston that they're going to see.
Yesterday was awesome. I mean, he threw for 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, he's doing his thing. We're talking to Demario Davis, all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. He's currently in a bus on his way over to the TCU facility to watch film as they are displaced because of Hurricane Ida through New Orleans, and he's doing work with United Way to raise money for the beautiful people down there. At Boston Connor, go ahead, pal.
Yeah, Demario, Marshon Lattimore signed a pretty massive contract yesterday after the game. Did you guys, make him buy you all steak dinners, or was it just kind of a congratulations for him?
Man, that's one of the toughest guys I've ever had the opportunity to play with. He was pretty banged up. He had a couple of little deals, and for the game, I know there was something going on. It was a possibility he wasn't going to be able to play. And I just went to him and told him, like, bro, I need you in this game. And he was like, I got you. When I looked up, he was out there in the game, and he had a phenomenal game. And I didn't know the contract was going to come through until after the game. We all found out at the same time. But for me, there's nobody more deserving. Nobody's more deserving than you can have a corner that plays that type of level and can go in the game and single-handedly light guys up. That's why, they get the contracts that they do. It makes a big difference on your defense. And definitely glad to have him as a teammate. Definitely glad that he got what he deserved.
It was announced that he was getting surgery last night. Demario Davis is not a doctor, so I'd be out of pocket if I asked him how long until he is back, but that should be noted about the Marshon Lattimore contract. Alvin Kamara, hey, and I know offense steals the headlines or whatever, but that guy might be the best football player on earth. He is unbelievable on the field. I thought to myself last night, and I think Jameis obviously knew this as well, if you just give that guy the ball, you're probably going to win a lot of games. In practice, is it full go for Kamara every single day? Is that iron sharpen iron with the defense as well? And is there any stop? How do you stop that guy? I don't understand how you stop. He can't get tackled. He has more balance than everybody. His vision's incredible. He's explosive, and he catches everything. It seems like he's the guy.
Yeah, certainly I'm glad he's on my team. I'll have to try to figure out how to stop him, you know. But yeah, man, he's as gifted as they come. Most gifted athlete I've ever been around. And I've been around a lot of great athletes. He's just a special human being, and you know that's what you see week in and week out.
Your defense, Cam Jordan was feasting. I mean, it just felt like you guys last year, there was a long time during the season where it was like, hey, the Saints can win it all because their defense is very, very good. You start the season, the most dominant performance out of everybody. I can't wait to watch you guys continue to grow. And thank you so much for joining us on your bus ride in the middle of a busy Monday, pal.
Hey, thank you, man. You guys be blessed.
Hey, you too. Ladies and gentlemen, all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, who just won 38-3, and the Packers didn't have a first down until fourth quarter. Did pretty okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Demario Davis.
Yeah!
Hey, the United Way thing's very cool, by the way. Him, Cam Jordan, a bunch of players on the team were all pushing it, putting on for New Orleans after that storm comes through. He was saying a lot of good stuff that was very low there at the beginning, but I appreciate the hell out of him. That 38-3, that's dominant performance.
I realistically should have thought about that with like people being displaced and stuff like that. Like I didn't really even account for that at all. I just assumed like, oh, it's going to be a neutral site game in Jacksonville. A bunch of Packers fans are going to show up. Like hindsight, like there was no way they were going to lose that game.
That's if you look back to what happened after Katrina,
right?
And then you look back to how that team legitimately is connected to the city and to the area. And Sean Payton, I think, is a big part of that. Obviously,
on top of everyone writing them off in the offseason, Drew Brees retires. They have to cut all these people to get underneath the cap. Then there's the Sean Payton and Michael Thomas stuff. It seemed like everyone was writing them off like. I don't know.
Bunker mentality.
Exactly. Exactly. It was a perfect recipe for them to.
Hey, Houston Texans, another perfect bunker mentality. Yeah. Now, we're going to find out about the Houston Texans with the next game they played. We're going to find out a lot about Urban Meyer as well with the next game. Let's run through the weekly scores. If you do not recall, the Buccaneers started off week one with a game-winning field goal, 31-29 over an incredible Cowboys team. Then all the games in between. Panthers beat the Jets. Sam Darnold wins by 5. The Jets were in that thing until the very, very, very end, though. Very end. Their team is going to be a good team at some point, but Zach Wilson's going to get his ass beat, I think, especially with the injury to Mekhi, which nobody likes, but congrats to the Panthers getting a win in the Sam Darnold era and also having a fake Panther jump through their stadium.
Oh, that was awesome. Sweet.
I loved it. I enjoyed the Panther coming through Bank of America Stadium and everything like that, grabbing the New York Jets banner, clawing the shit out of that thing and then running that on Twitter. That thing had to be so expensive to create. Remember when you're looking at something like this, it's literally every single movement of that thing, everybody, is some graphic that is being created. We obviously have it in 480p here. The Panthers are not going to be thankful for us running this at all. It is much nicer than it appears right here. It is obviously a real Panther that they created with augmented reality. Absolutely beautiful. My big thing is, did they do this? I mean, it jumps off the goalpost right up to the top of the stadium, which, by the way, a Panther probably could do. That is a personal foul. It was taunting, and it jumps right out of the stadium. They did this all strictly for their Twitter account?
They must have. I didn't see it anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't be aired anywhere else. For instance, on SmackDown, we have incredible virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality graphics. But that's on TV. People are watching it. So you see some stuff in the arena, and then on the screen that the TV's watching, there's some insane shit, some lions and Romans like 45 feet tall. I mean, it's a full thing that happens, but you're actually seeing it on TV. For this one, if Carolina isn't running the game, nobody's seeing that except for social media. The fact that they spent that much money to create something that awesome for social media, unless whenever Fox did their pregame hit, if Rappaport or whoever is, or the NFL Network standing there or whatever, unless they're standing on there doing the pregame hit, and that Panther is sitting in the back, in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think they did it for anything other than social. And for that, I am thankful, and I fucking love what they're doing over there in Carolina.
Yeah, all they had to do was ask Tepper, hey, we're going to need $17 million. We're going to spend $1 million a week on social media, but this fucking Panther is going to take over. And it got me. I hammered the Panthers after I saw it.
And by the way, it got me as well. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then as I was looking at it, all I continued to do is, who saw that? Like, nobody saw this except for social media. I love it even more. Richest guy in the NFL, right?
Uh-huh.
That should be happening, I guess.
That's right. He doesn't give a shit.
Hey, thank you, man, for doing that. And thank you to that Carolina Panthers social team for putting together an incredible. They're another team that gets it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the NFC South squads do, by the way. I've learned. And iron sharpens iron. When other teams are doing it, you're kind of expected to do so. Hopefully the Chargers and the Colts and the Panthers and the Saints and everybody else that dominates out there will continue to lift the tides of everybody else. Steelers get a big win in Buffalo, obviously 23-16. Texans beat Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence 37-21. Coach Dave and Tyrod Taylor, they got a massive hit to the salary cap, incredible distraction all offseason, come out with a dominant win over Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville Jaguars. I saw some of this game, not as much as I feel is comfortable to chat about this game. Trevor Lawrence had some good moments, had some terrible moments, right?
Yep. Threw 3 touchdowns, threw 3 picks. A couple of his picks, they were basically saying, like, hey, he'll learn. Like, this is the kind of stuff he could do at Clemson. You can't do it in the NFL.
Urban Meyer, obviously, everybody's looking at him, asking him when he's going to leave, how long this is going to take, or whatever. I think Urban Meyer's all in on being a Jaguar. I'm excited to see what they become. That could be a long road, though, if Coach Dave and the boys are beating the hell out of them. But maybe the Texans have full bunker mentality, and they're off and running. 27-24, the Bengals beat the Vikings at home. Game-winning field goal in overtime with 5 seconds left. 5 full quarters. Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and the boys came alive late after a 4th-and-1 stop on the Bengals' 29-yard line, down 14, scored a touchdown, got hot. Greg Joseph kicked a 50-some-yarder, sent it to overtime. Back and forth. Jordan Berry, former punter of the Pittsburgh Steelers, now with the Minnesota Vikings, hit a 63-yard fair catch in overtime. Fucking murdered the ball. Anytime you see a 60-yard fair catch, think about what that means, okay? That means the ball has to be high enough for long enough that somebody can get under it and force a fair catch. 60-yard fair catches aren't something that happen often, let alone in overtime. Jordan Berry should be celebrated. Ultimately, they lose to Evan McPherson and Joey Burrow and the Bengals. Philadelphia Eagles beat the hell out of the Falcons, 32-6. That could get ugly. Falcons got the Buccaneers this week. Are the Eagles much better than everybody thinks, potentially? 2016, the Chargers go into Washington and get a win. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Hip subluxation.
Yes. Bingo.
Another word for dislocation. He's on IR. Seems like that's Heineke's team. The Chargers are who we thought they were. They are going to be good.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is a stud. He's throwing balls where only his guys can get, but so is the Washington football team. They're late. They couldn't get a stop. The Chargers basically did a 4-minute offense for 5.5 minutes. They proclaimed their dominance over there. Pipes burst, but I think the Washington football team is going to be good. I think this is just an ode to how good the Chargers are going to be potentially. 38-13, Cardinals beat the dog shit out of the Titans. 33-29, Chiefs beat the Browns in electrifying fashion. 28-16, the Seahawks literally shit all over the Indianapolis Colts.
They're good.
So are the Colts. I'm not giving up hope yet. Remember, Phillip Rivers and the Colts last year lost to Joe Dirt in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's right. Still made the playoffs.
Still made the playoffs. Let's go 41-33, Niners over Lions. That was a 25-point game. The Lions scored late, quick, even got an onside kick, a first onside kick. Congratulations. 38-3, Saints over the Packers. 27-13, Teddy B and the Broncos over the Giants. Giants are in trouble.
Yeah.
Big time. Hey, Joe Judge building a new culture. The Giants have stunk for a long time. Danny Dimes, I think there's still a lot of question marks nationally about him. I'm not sure how the Giants feel. That offense is just a clusterfuck completely. I don't know if it's the offensive line's fault. I don't know if it's Jason Garrett's fault. I don't know if it's Danny Dimes' fault. Whatever the case, they have not found the ingredients to put a recipe together for successful offense over there for the Giants for some time. How will that unfold throughout the season? Maybe they'll figure it out. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully Saquon can kind of pick it up. Obviously, it was his first game back. He only got activated a couple weeks ago, so if he gets a little more comfortable, maybe that'll help their success. But yeah, they got to figure it out quick too.
They were questioned on whether or not Saquon would play. He looked in the videos I saw, seemed like his legs were churning.
Oh, yeah.
Seemed like they were moving, didn't run for a lot of yards. Maybe it's only a matter of time before he gets back in the swing of things. If you're a Giants fan, that's what you're thinking. If you're a Broncos fan, Teddy Bridgewater threw for 2 touchdowns, had over 100 QBR or whatever. Teddy Bridgewater playing good football, good for the Broncos. 17-16, the Dolphins going to Foxborough and winning massively, by the way. Tua looked good. Patriots could have won late. They fumble. Miami Dolphins defense forces a fumble with 3 minutes left on their own 10, 4 minutes left on their own 10 to secure the 1-point victory over division rival New England Patriots. Congrats to the Dolphins. And obviously, last night was the Matthew Stafford show, 34-14 over the Chicago Bears. What a weekend. What a time to be alive. Can't thank you enough for joining us. We got a 4-minute break, then we're going to wrap up this beautiful Overreaction Monday, September 13th, with some phone calls on the 5-Hour Energy phone line.
Okay.
I want to hear what everybody's thinking out there about the games we just talked about right here. I want to hear their thoughts about our overreactions. I want to hear who their MVP choice is. I want to hear who your team that stinks worse than every other team is. This is Overreaction Monday. You're supposed to let it all fall out of your mouth. You're supposed to say regrettable things. You're supposed to get the emotion of an incredible NFL Sunday out of your body. We'll see you in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
Who that nation? Louisiana needs our help.
Hurricane Ida left thousands of households in an urgent need of resources.
Families are stranded without power, without water, but not without hope.
We're partnering with the United Way of Southeast Louisiana and WWL-TV to raise funds for Hurricane Ida relief
so we can get help to our most vulnerable families.
The state of Louisiana has experienced devastating matters before, and they have always bounced back.
Give today at UnitedWay,
All the hard work throughout my entire life, whether it was driving me to practice, to go to work, the coaches that invested hours in me, everything I have done to get to this point. I got a whole town, a community, a family, a tribe of people watching me potentially live out my dreams that we all thought was going to happen. And when I get to Rock, I get a chance to carry 8 motherfuckers that are playing for a team that is in the city that I went to college in. I carry 8 people, have the biggest moment in my football career, maybe make a team, if not with the Colts, somewhere else. Hey, that guy's got juice, let's do it. Change the entire direction in the course of my family's life. I can't be excited though.
No.
Don't even think about it.
Don't you fucking dare.
Are you kidding me? All that just happened and everything I just said there and more is potentially happening in that one play? Don't even fucking think it. Get your fucking ass back in the huddle. You know Barry Sanders? Hey, Barry Sanders, he'd score a touchdown and he would just hand it to the ref and then he was gone. Why don't I? Well, Barry Sanders also won the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
It was also like the all-time leading scorer in this whole thing. Barry Sanders was unbelievable, worked his ass off. Let's not get crazy. And Barry Sanders had the ability to act like he had been there before because Barry Sanders, by the way, had fucking been there before. And maybe Barry Sanders, the way he goes about business isn't how everybody goes about business. Maybe there's a lot of different stories, a lot of different situations, a lot of different life events that lead to somebody acting differently than somebody that just acted, almost robotic while being one of the most exciting and electric players in the history. Got nothing but love for Barry Sanders. Let's not get crazy. But there's a lot of people tweeting, act like you've been there before. It's like, you think this motherfucker's been there before? Yeah. This dude just carried 8 people and maybe changed the entire life. He can't be excited. Aren't we a game of emotion? Aren't we a game of excitement? Why is this a fucking penalty? Hey, Goodell! Hey, eating your M&Ms, sitting on the chair, being cool. You became my commissioner. You weren't my commissioner when, hey, you dance, you're fucking out. Your sock slide, you're fucking out. We don't want anything. We want robots, no emotion. Everybody hated you then, Raj. All right, everybody hated you. And nobody understood why you're trying to take the fun out of the game. You're doing it because you want to be able to just pluck and play. You didn't want to have players be brand names because then you could replace them easily. Okay, I understand the business side of it, but we all agreed, the tribe has spoken, that the game's better when people are excited. Some things are too much.
All right, some things are way too much. There were some dances that happened that looked a little bit more like basketball, where we're all like, there's no way that can happen with a full line dance. We get it. There was some. But it added to the game. The excitement added to everything. Now taking away this and making it a point of emphasis. And I'm not saying that there should be egregious, if something egregious happens, they should penalize them. Yes, please. It's not for the good of our game, not for the good of the league, not good for fans, not good for anybody. I understand that's going to happen, but a point of emphasis means, hey, we're cracking down on this because we don't want it to happen anymore. And why are we targeting that as opposed to targeting something else I'll never understand? My commissioner, Roger Goodell, is going to get to the bottom of this if Sam Acho doesn't do it first.
Yeah. Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Coming live from the Heartland, USA, where dreams go to die and your friends get sent away. Working to survive 9 to 5 every day. Spend your paycheck up at Walmart and Chick-fil-A. Pull up in the
What a bang. I can't have it right now, though, Dave. Sorry, Wavy Davey. Do you like playing with balls?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm not talking about footballs. I mean your balls.
Yeah.
Oh, still, yeah.
Still love it, yeah.
Our friends at Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming, want you to shave your pubes. Pubes, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Talking about your pubic hair.
Okay.
They want you to shave your pubes with the Tom Brady of ball trimmers. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Only the GOAT technology for the greatest balls of all time. Your balls.
Hell yeah.
2 million men worldwide trust them, so join the movement with our exclusive offer by going to manscaped.com/Pat for 20% off and free shipping.
Whoa. Wow.
The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is the perfect package for your package and a key for great grooming and hygiene routine to make sure your crotch doesn't look like Troy Polamalu.
Messy crotch.
Imagine if your crotch looked like Troy Polamalu's.
Look out.
Polamalu's. He's in a Head & Shoulders commercial. You don't need your pubes to be up for any shampoo and conditioning commercial.
Nope.
The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 is here to take your defense to the next level. This 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The package also includes a weed whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in both your ear and nose hair. The blah, 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 you get it. Ladies and gentlemen, 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. Take your ball defense to the promised land with Manscaped. We all use this. If you don't use it, you're legitimately fucking up.
Yep.
They have a anti-nick technology on their lawnmower and their weed whacker. So you can get up in your nose and then you can trim your balls all willy-nilly because of the skin-safe technology. Go to manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat.
And from the hills of Humboldt County, Canadips, America's original smokeless CBD pouch, is excited to provide us all excitement and joy all season long.
You're damn right.
Your opening weekend on FanDuel Sportsbook may not have gone as planned.
Nope, it didn't.
I got curb stomped.
I have $0 in my account.
Yep.
I had a lot of dollars in my account before Sunday.
Change it tonight.
Well, Ohio State kind of set me up on failure, and I think it was more that drum major doing his little faceplant thing that he wanted to do. Just keep your feet, dude. Be an athlete. We all know you're a freak athlete.
Go dot the I.
Just go dot the goddamn I. We cover 15 probably in that thing. That just kind of led me down a spiral of losing. Bang. That right there. Kind of led me down a spiral. I have no money in my account. What can Canadips do for me?
Well, you could also be waking up Monday morning and thinking you have a career in watching games.
Hell yeah.
Either way, there's nothing better than Canadips CBD to keep you cool, calm, and collected. CanadipsCBD.com. And go to, Jesus Christ, Bruce, I'm really packing it in on the read here. When you go to CanadipsCBD.com and enter promo code LipBoomers, you're going to get 20% off. It's the best code in sports right now. Stay focused for tonight's matchup and grab your trusty can of Canadips CBD now. As always, don't lose your focus this week. Head to CanadipCBD.com and use Lip Boomers for 20% off today.
How professional are we, by the way? Back-to-back commercials right there.
Let's go.
I mean, in the middle of it, I go, you get it, and you go, Jesus Christ, Bruce. But what you need to understand, Canada CBD, the perfect tobacco-free alternative for our dipping friends out there.
Absolutely, I love it.
You are
needed
our
it
dipping
yesterday.
friend.
Yeah, needed
exactly.
it yesterday.
And it feels like actual dip.
Doesn't have any of the harmful mumbo jumbo in it.
CANNADIPS CBD.com, promo code LIPBOOMERS.
20% off.
Shout out to Canada, shout out to you. Shout out to Manscaped as well. Let's go on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Let's go to Bob in Virginia. Bob, what's going on, Bob?
Not much. What up, Pat and the boys?
Hey, just hanging,
Happy
Bob.
Overreaction Monday.
Hell yeah, can't wait. Hey, let me hear you overreact, pal. What do you got going on?
All right, man. So Cam Newton was saying he was fine sitting behind Mac Jones. How about he comes to Washington and sits behind Heineke?
Okay, I think it's a little different situation there, although Heineke did get paid, I think, $7 million a year by the Washington football team after almost leading them to a victory in the playoffs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To be clear, none of us knew Heineke existed either.
Nope.
Then whenever he played against the Buccaneers, remember that was the week that all the attention was on Chase Young because he said, Tom Brady, I'm coming. Nobody really talked about Heineke. Heineke flying through the air, scoring a touchdown, almost beat the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers in the playoffs. They bring in Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic gets hurt. Now it's Heineke's team. A lot of people are saying Cam needs to go to Washington. He and Ron Rivera know each other well. I guess they know each other very, very well. They both made a lot of money together, had a lot of success together. I think that is interesting, fascinating, but also I don't think people appreciate how much Heineke's appreciated by the Washington football team. I don't think that's being talked about at all.
2 year, 4.75 for Heineke.
Each year, 4.75?
Nope. 1.5 guaranteed. 2.3 a year.
Heineke, whenever he threw a completion yesterday, I saw him go, let's fucking go. That's because he saw that number going up potentially. And he went and talked to Fitz, who's basically a similar version of himself, just before after photo of 15 years in the NFL. I think that's what a lot of people were thinking. His hip's not good, okay? I'm going to have to fucking play some football here. That's why you pay a backup, and that's why I think the Washington football team's probably excited for Heineke. I'd be interested if they sign Cam Newton. And would Cam Newton want to go, I wonder? I don't know what Cam Newton's going to do right now. I'm very fascinated.
Well, we talked about this when it first got brought up, right after Cam got cut, and I think we kind of landed on, is Rivera going to bring in a guy who's not vaccinated? It seems like he's kind of fucking done with that.
Oh, yeah, because Ron Rivera at one point during this preseason, he actually went in front of his team and said,
I'm sick and tired of it, okay? You guys need to get fucking vaccinated and do it now.
And when he didn't do that, he went over to the media and the press and he said,
I'm sick and fucking tired of these guys not being vaccinated.
And then 2 weeks later, they still didn't have enough vaccination in his eyes, so he told his team,
hey, I wasn't kidding. Go get fucking vaccinated, okay? I'm done with it.
And then he went to the media and he told them,
these guys need to get fucking vaccinated.
That was an entire storyline this offseason.
Yeah.
He and Zimmer were not fucking thrilled about their team's vaccination.
No.
So I'm not sure if an unvaccinated Cam Newton will be on the desired list with Ron Rivera, no matter how much money and success they've had in the past. That seemed like something Ron Rivera was very pissed off about with his team. Let's go to Chris in Montana on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to save 10% off your order. Chris, what's going on, pal? Oh, this guy stinks.
No, I'm here.
All right. I was about to overreact. I was about to hang up on you, Chris. I'm going to be honest. But you're from the great state of Montana, Big Sky, Montana. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, shout out to you guys and your partnership with the fantastic Manscaped for hooking me up with that deal on the Lawnmower 4.0. Ideal below the belt grooming tool.
Yeah, the Montanimal out there was getting a little bit hectic. Had to get that thing domesticated a little bit. We appreciate you, Chris. What do you want to talk about? Don't take our word for it. Take Chris's.
So it's Overreaction Monday, and I think I'm going to overreact a different way than most Broncos fans. We're just going to get let down this year.
Chris! No! Chris, you just won. All right, can't have it yet. Don't let the Broncos fans hear you. I mean, there's been a lot of question marks. Who's going to be our quarterback? Is Drew Lock our quarterback? Well, we don't know. One game, you guys didn't even have a quarterback because the quarterbacks took all their little tracking devices, put them in the corner of the room, and then they played dominoes together and watched film. They were high-fiving each other. They were hugging each other. They were smoking a peace pipe together. They were doing all this, trying to get around the NFL. And the NFL said, oh, you think you're fucking funny, huh? Everybody off the field. You got to play a wide receiver at quarterback for a game. I mean, if you're a Broncos fan, you got Teddy in there. You got to win. Von Miller was eating early. Go ahead and celebrate that. Hey, let's not think about being let down just yet, Chris. Come on.
Talk about good D lines.
Play good.
Broncos got one that'll carry them the whole goddamn way.
Now they are in a division, though. They are in a division. Everybody's talking about the NFC best right now. All right, Chargers, pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
The Broncos just so happen to be dancing in there, and we'll find out what the Raiders are tonight. Can't wait to see what the Raiders are.
Not forget about the AFC North either.
What's that?
I'm just saying, they're NFC West, AFC West. Let's not forget about the AFC North.
Hey, it's hot in the kitchen. Mike Tomlin said that about the AFC North. Hey, this is AFC North football.
Bengals might even win a few games.
Well, they already did. And they were up by 20 at one point, I think, and they tried to give that thing away. And they had to test some real adversity, but wait until the colder weather whenever they got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next to the highway outside.
The AFC North would be undefeated right now if the Scottish Hammer didn't have two stove thumbs.
All right.
Let's not forget about Baker's
Hey, we don't need to be pointing out
interception.
just the punter's mistakes on this show. I mean, every other show did it as well. They had a full zoom in on his face.
Come on. We can talk about Baker's pick if you want.
Listen, I do believe he was trying to throw that ball to that person. Tony Romo's telling me he was trying to throw that away. I think he was trying to throw it away. But I like what I saw to Baker yesterday.
Yeah,
I like a lot what I saw. And when they had OBJ back in there, which was a late day scratch there. I wish I would have known that maybe before.
Yeah, that was odd.
Well, I didn't bet on that game because I'm not betting on Chiefs games.
Smart.
I lost no money on that game. Maybe that's why I'm so objective about it. No, I think the Browns are good. No, because I lost zero money on that thing. That could probably change a little bit. I guess let's go back to the 5 Energy Found Line. Let's go to Doug in New York. Doug, what's going on, pal? We were just over there. Madison Square Garden was fucking awesome on Friday night. Lucky to be there. Had a $1 slice of pizza. Stopped by an Irish pub.
Let's go.
Sat in traffic. Almost missed our plane. I mean, it was an entire New York experience. Doug, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Oh, what's up, boys? Happy Overreaction Monday.
Hey, happy Overreaction Monday to you. What are you overreacting about over there in New York?
Oh, I'm overreacting to my absolute shit Giants that once again suck. And Jason Garrett is like stuck in 1980. I don't know. We have no pressure on the quarterback. And luckily the Bears do too, though. And we have their pick this year, so we may have 2 of the top 5 picks.
Okay, hey, that's a good way to look at that. Look at that. Overreacting in a negative way, turns it around to a big zoom out, squeezes his pointer finger and his thumb together on the map a little bit and says, guess what? We're not the only ones that stink. Looks like the Bears are going to stink as well. We got their pick. Look at us, 2 in the top 5. I love that thought.
Danny Dimes, it just seems like he's already out the door.
He loves turning the ball over.
Turnover machine.
When Danny Dimes was drafted, the world exploded.
Big time.
Nobody knew who the fuck this guy was. We had him at a golf thing.
Yeah,
Top
Golf, yeah.
He was very cool, very nice.
Big.
They said, hey, this is basically a Manning brother, same coach, big brain. He's Eli. If you're going to replace Eli, this is who you should replace Eli with. Now here we are 4 years later, and we have no idea still, right? Because is it him? Is it the team? Is this the Gase effect in another place? We'll never know. Shout out to the Gase effect, by the way. Sam Darnold made some plays yesterday.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did.
Spinning it.
He did. Ryan Tannehill, though, maybe.
Oh, going backwards. Well, that might be the Artie Smith effect.
He looked like he fumbled the first snap of the game.
Yeah, and no Artie there is not being talked about. They did not even chip Chandler Jones. I mean, there wasn't even a thought of slowing him down, and probably because, you got JJ on the other side, and they're loaded up in the middle as well. So that's whenever you got a packed defensive line, everybody eats. And in this particular case, Chandler Jones ate everything, and I don't think anybody's going to slow him down this year.
Yeah, and I think people aren't talking about Artie Smith just because the Falcons laid such an egg on offense that they were like, fuck it.
Sirianni coached circles around him.
Yeah.
It looked like.
Legitimate.
Logistics.
Logistics. That's right.
He hates FedEx. Nick Sirianni. Whenever he was 10 years old, his dad tried to buy him a wiener whistle.
That's right.
And it never showed up. It was supposed to arrive via FedEx.
2-day shipping.
Since that moment on, Nick Sirianni said, nothing that's ever associated with FedEx will beat me.
No.
And that's why, what can Brown do for you?
Bingo.
Falcons lose by 27.
Well, and they really did. I mean, like their first possession, they went right down. I can't remember if they scored a touchdown. I don't think they did. But, because they had 2 field goals. They went marched right down the field. It was like, okay, this is going to be a long day. And then it literally just
Not doing it.
Now
again.
we're going to beat the fuck out of you guys. And they did.
I wonder if Artie watches that Titans. He can't because he's got enough to figure out on his own end.
Yeah.
He watched that Titans game going, can somebody help out Taylor Lewan here?
Oh, God.
I mean, can somebody give him a little, God just came back from a torn ACL. That's a tall task early. Now, I think Darius Butler, he said it a couple times. Taylor got on social media trying to get in front of that. I don't know how Darius felt about it. We didn't follow up on that thing. But Taylor knew that he was going to be eating some criticism for a long time. That's one of the biggest days a defensive end has ever had in the history of the game. What's going on, Nick?
Wait till Sirianni makes his debut at FedEx Field.
Why?
FedEx Field.
Right there.
Heads will roll.
Because of what we were just talking about there with the Browns thing. When do the Eagles play the Washington football team?
That's a great question.
Probably soon.
Yeah.
Division rival.
Look for that to be a stomping as well for that 10-year-old wiener whistle situation.
If they're chipping Chase Young, that's what he would have been doing over there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Keith in Illinois. What's going on, Keith, on the 5-hour energy phone line? You're right. FedEx Field is in the division. I mean, Sirianni's not going to be able to sleep for that long.
Might be underwater by then.
Hey, they got that fixed. They said that was rainwater, not poop water.
It was 1,000% poop water.
No, they said there was no poop found.
I saw a piece of poop fly down.
No, they said that might have been diarrhea, but that was coming from the heavens. That wasn't coming from anybody's butt.
I don't know.
No, there's no poop there. They said that's just rainwater.
That is reused sewage water.
No. They said, no. This is just rainwater. We didn't expect as much rain to go through our pipes, and everybody here got sweet tickets, by the way.
I did see that. It was a nice touch.
What, they had a gutter break?
Well, yeah, but I think the issue
Clean
is,
leaves out there.
I think the issue is that when this type of thing happens and you give people sweets, look for next week somebody, bring. People are going to be trying to get that. Right. That sweet did look really nice that this entire crew had here.
It did.
But out of nowhere, just getting dumped on water in public, never good.
It's going to take 2 weeks to get the poop smell out of their clothes, too.
They said it wasn't poop water.
It was poop water.
No, they said it wasn't poop.
Well, I'd say that, too. But
let's go to Keith in Illinois. What's going on, Keith? You ever been rained poop water on your head before?
Illinois.
I can't say that I have, man.
It's good for you, man. We don't think it was poop water there. I mean, Ty seems to believe that it was, gray water or black water if you're going in RVs. I'm just being told that it was a gift from the heavens is what I was told by them, and everybody got sweets. Keith, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, that's a shitty situation everyone else. Hey, since it's Overreaction Monday, is Green Bay going to have their hands full next Monday night against the Dolphins?
Yes, they are.
Oh, great question. Packers, Lions, Monday Night Football. Let's not get this twisted, by the way. Tonight, Monday Night Football, look for the Manning cast that's happening on ESPN2. Next week, Packers, Lions. That could get very interesting for all of us to watch. Are you worried about MCDC and the boys finding their groove late in that game against the Niners, which appear to be a better team than the Packers do right now?
No, not really, because it looked like the Lions, they got a lot of confidence going in this week. The Packers, listen, they might beat the Lions by 50, and if they don't, I think I'll be worried because it just you can't lay an egg like you did this week. I mean, who knows how good the Lions are? Goff looked good, but Okudah ruptured his Achilles, so they're down.
Still the worst defense in the league. We gave him 41 points.
Quickly, too.
And a pissed off Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football is no good.
Home opener.
So we should make him continue to be pissed off, you're saying, for the good of the Packers in our interview tomorrow. Let's not make him feel better and more. That's not our job. Our job is make him feel worse.
That's right.
Because if he continues to feel worse, pissed off, home opener, 700 yards.
I did see a lot of people say, hey, you better hold him accountable tomorrow. So
I had a lot of people tweeting me that. It's like, I feel like if you go back, I've asked him about everything. Just because I do it in my own way. I mean, but I will address. I think first question is actually going to be the fuck it throw. That was maybe my favorite football throw in the history of the NFL. In the end zone, you heard him say fuck it whenever he threw that thing 65 yards for an interception or whatever. You could hear him state that in the middle of that. Just what was his thought? Early, I think very early, even before they even had a snap, him and the ref were kind of getting in on where the ball was going to be placed. And then there was a timeout situation. I mean, there's a lot to go through, let alone the fact that they got slaughtered by the Saints.
Yeah, it's not like there's many times last year when you had to hold them accountable. They went fucking 13-3. Like there's not many chances where it is a performance like yesterday.
I do love though how much I get attacked when Aaron does stuff. Like, oh, way to go. He's too busy about these podcast conversations instead of playing football. It's like he only talked to us one time, by the way. I was not happy about it. I wanted him to talk to us more because we're entrenched in war for him out there, but we'll ask him about it. He knows, by the way. He very much understands. It was the first thing he said in his press conference. Like, yeah, I played terrible.
Isn't that like the teammates, coaches, himself, hold himself? Like, I don't necessarily think it's like your job to, hey, you got to play better, dude. You got to play better.
Hey, Aaron, I think I speak for every media member. You should fucking retire, dude. What if I get laid off?
You need to be held accountable.
You need to be held accountable. Hey, listen, there's a fire. Put your fucking feet in it, dude. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting your feet to the fire right now. I love those people. Tweet me that. Hey, make sure you ask tough questions.
He's going to let him rip on the front office, or you're going to hold him accountable.
Is that what you're going to do? It's like, I don't know. Have you listened to any of our fucking conversations? I feel like I've covered everything, haven't I? I feel like I genuinely have.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think many people do. Like, the
the
ones
people
that
that
are
don't
loud
like it.
about it are the ones that probably aren't actually listening.
Let's go to John Dahn in Houston on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. That's the number 5, then fullourenergy.com. HOURENERGY.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off your order. Only valid through September 31st. Go to 5-Hour Energy website to find over 15 different flavors to choose from.
What?
Yeah, flavors like watermelon, chocolate burst, cherry, peach mango, and more. There's a flavor for everyone. This ain't the original 5-Hour Energy that you tried whenever it came into the market and you said, you know what? I need energy, but I don't like the aftertaste. 5-Hour Energy knew that. They said, hey, we got something here. People seem to like it. Let's go to work on the flavor as well. They've been able to change it. Shout out to 5-Hour Energy. Let's continue that phone line. Let's go to John down there in Houston, the home of the #1 team in the AFC South, Coach Dave in the Houston Texans.
Yes. Howdy, Pat, and howdy, boys.
Howdy, John.
I'm just calling to say that there's something wrong down here in Houston. You know, I mean, I don't care what you want to say about the Jags or Urban Meyer.
What?
We should not be blowing teams out with this roster. I don't know if Laramie Tunsil's blocking too good. Maybe he should be a Colt. I don't know if wide receiver is catching too good. Maybe he should go be a Patriot. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's throwing it too good. Maybe he should go be a Giant.
Okay.
But I think most importantly what we need is help from our guy Jack Easterby. He needs to call up his buddy downstairs and remind him he did not sell Deshaun Watson's soul for this team to overachieve and go 6-11.
So it sounds like he wants the Texans to stink so they can get up.
Yeah.
Hey, we should
go lower.
Hey, we could not be winning right now. Jacksonville won their first game last year, okay, against the Colts, and then they went on to lose every other one. So it can be done, John, in Houston. In your division, it was done just a year ago. So what a wild time, John. Like, why are we fucking doing this? Tyrod, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, start losing now.
We need to lose every game.
Tyrod, the three-headed monster in the backfield, that every single one of them scored a touchdown.
Yeah. Houston Texans and Coach Dave with that bunker mentality with Caserio running around coaching. I mean, what if they build something special down there? What if they do end up right in the middle of the pack with a terrible pick and really can't get out of the salary cap
win the
hell?
division.
They want 6 players, I guess. Either 6 picks or a mixture between picks and players for Deshaun Watson. And for all the chatter saying there's so many teams interested, we haven't really heard of anybody that is anywhere near to trading for Deshaun Watson. So he's just going to sit there all year, I guess?
Yeah, well, if you tie that Giants call, that just happened. If they do have 2 picks in the top 5, you wonder if they ship Deshaun Watson up to the G-Men next year before the draft starts.
There's going to have to be a lot that gets figured out.
Well, from what we've heard, too, Tua doesn't start throwing for more yards and touchdowns. Their GM down there might say, hey, you know what? If it's only going to take a mixture, I'll give you 4 picks and put 2 in there, and then, we'll throw you someone else, too. I want Deshaun. Yeah. He's saying it. I mean, a lot of people are saying he's not saying it, but
he did. I mean, allegedly there's a lot of smoke and fire, but that was before Tua came out and sliced and diced in Foxborough, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'll go full Rob Lowe in this bitch. Give me the shield hat.
What if they trade away Tua and try to get
they trade for? Yeah, I mean, that's some serious allegations, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of teams, I think, that have to weigh. Like, there are very serious allegations. 20 plus of them that are nowhere near being handled.
Nope.
So how come he's not on? I think everybody's wondering, why is he not on the exemption list? He's still against the salary cap for Houston. He has to stand. I don't understand how this is a very interesting situation for sure.
Well, and that's why it got even more like weird and unknowing when the NFL did their investigation and then just
Amy.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Lisa. And then nothing.
Lisa Friel.
Yeah.
That was it.
Nothing came from it, from the NFL's investigation. So it's like, what the hell?
But then there's other interviews going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very fascinating, and I have no idea how any of it works out to be a positive for the Houston Texans, but they're blowing out the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, and they said the Eagles were one of those teams, right? And after watching Hurts, it's like it's tough to believe that they're like. I think they're happy with him.
Well, we must remember what we saw yesterday doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be seeing the same thing 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now.
True.
This is a long road to get to the Lombardi. I said yesterday that the Colts are starting that road today to the next Lombardi, and then I hit the hammer. they started out with a little bit of a dead end. I think we made a wrong turn.
Starts today now.
Starts today. Today, that road to party starts today for the Indianapolis Colts.
Hey, I just want to let you know I did some investigative reporting over the last couple minutes.
Oh.
It hasn't rained in the area of the Washington football team stadium in the last 2 weeks, so that was poop water. Okay?
Oh, no.
The cops did that to me. The cops did that to me whenever I got my situation for the public intoxication.
Yeah.
Why are you wet? I told him it rained. And the cop literally came back and was like, we've actually been in the middle of like a 40-day drought right now. It's actually like news in this entire thing. Well, out where I was, it was a little spot shot.
You missed it.
Little spot. I wish everybody else would have got a little bit of that. That's unbelievable over there. DMV area is actually suffering from a lack of water, and all of a sudden Washington's dumping water all over everybody. What's going on? You're saying that I need to acknowledge that was poop.
It was
diarrhea?
poop water.
It was poop.
That was the poop water from the back up in the sewage line at the stadium, and they dump poop water all over these people.
I know COVID's the big thing we're worrying about. Look out for pink eye over there.
Yeah.
Hey, Washington needs to look out for pink eye. Okay, you need to keep your face away from booty holes and definitely away from dump showers. Yuck. Jeez Louise. They all got in a suite, though. Got a chance to see the Washington football team's quarterback dislocate his hip and
lose.
That's a tough day for the Washington football team. Jason Wright's like, come on. I mean, I'm not an architectural fucking engineer here. What are we?
How much do I have to do?
There's 4 exposés. We got poop water. What are we doing?
Lord.
Allegedly, Jeff Bezos will be buying the Denver Broncos.
Whoa.
Allegedly.
Broncos.
I mean, allegedly, the Bezos Broncos are potentially going to be a thing. The Broncos have come out, and they are in the transition process of new ownership, but it won't take place for a certain amount of time because they want a smooth transition. And then it was reported that Bezos is also allegedly interested. So maybe out in Mile High City, Jeff Bezos will buy the team for $4 billion, which is equal to 2% of his net worth. He'll buy an NFL team.
And then he'll buy the rest of the that division, and then he'll buy the rest of the league, and then all of a sudden, we're playing on fucking Mars, dude.
If it means anything, the other owners in the NFL think they have just the same amount of money as Bezos.
True.
He's not going to come in there and just dog walk all the other owners. Okay, you're talking about guys that create, fake Panthers just for their social media team.
Yeah.
6-7 figure Panthers just for their social media team. I don't know if Bezos, even though this is only 2% of his net worth to buy an NFL team, and math says he could buy them all if you wanted to, I guess, and every NHL team and every NBA team, and it could be the worldwide Bezos of sports, if you really wanted to, and take it to Mars. I think he'll go all in with the Broncos, and that's good for the NFL if we get the richest dude on earth involved in the league.
If he gets in that division, too, he might be able to sweet talk Mark Davis into buying them as well.
Allegedly, he could potentially buy, hey, you got IRS issues. Here's this.
Right.
Pay them off, and you're still rich. You can get a new haircut or same haircut and pay $1,000
Pay for that house you just built.
Allegedly, Jay-Z also getting involved in the purchase of that thing.
Here we go.
Here we go. So Bezos and Jay-Z, or maybe Jay-Z with another team, who knows? All eyes are on the Broncos being the first team to be for sale in some time in the NFL. It's going to be a lot of money because it's not worth what it is right now that you're selling for. You're also selling for potential future earnings. And how long in advance is all determined upon the negotiations. Congrats to everybody involved, including us who cover the NFL. The richest dude on earth getting involved in our favorite league is good news. I can't wait to see what he brings. From all of us to all you listening on Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio, Demario Davis, Clyde Christensen, and Darius Butler, we promise Chris Mad Dog Russo and Mad Dog Unleashed will be better than our show. That starts in 6 minutes. We'll see you tomorrow for Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Just fucking nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
That was right on the thing.
Clean.
I don't know if anybody listens to us on Sirius, by the way.
And you never will know.
Yeah. I tried to engage with the CEO of Sirius on negotiation.
Yeah.
And he asked me who was representing me, and I said myself, and I never got a text back.
Huh.
I assume people in their car do, right?
Oh.
Truck drivers. Now with YouTube, though.
Yeah, with YouTube, I think you can.
Yeah, you can just plug it in, let it run.
Does
the
it
shows-
play when it's not?
I think so. I think it does have the capability to do that, which is a big deal when apps started doing it.
You do have to keep
YouTube
YouTube
did
open.
not. Oh, see, yeah.
Really? I thought you could do it.
No.
I think you have to pay for the premium
Yeah,
for it to
unless-
do that.
Oh, that's a big move.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you can shut out, go to Twitter,
Yeah.
bounce around while it's still on.
Still going. Yeah.
That's massive. I guess there's a lot of people watching us up on TVs too. Hey, shout out to us.
Shout out.
Hey, we're on TV, dude.
Oh!
TV. Whoa. We're in like a tire shop.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome. Walk into a lobby. There's a TV up in there, and we all see the lobby. It's like white floor, like kind of some chairs around. It got glass,
Good
real
year.
small. I don't remember which one it was, but
I hope it was a good year.
I think it was maybe your dumb. No, it was my dumb face. It was up there in the corner.
yeah.
And they said, walked into this place. They got you on. Definitely getting my service or whatever. I'm thinking about some lady who has no idea that we exist going in to get her tire fixed, and you got to sit there for like 30 minutes or whatever. And you just go, it's like, those dildos with COVID on them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What are they talking about?
Yeah.
Well, there's nightclubs too.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And there's that dude in the tractor who had it up on his screen while he was plowing through the fields.
And I do believe we got more listeners in Compton, California now.
Absolutely.
After Coach JB's appearance.
Hell yeah.
What a moment.
Oh.
Hey, are you allowed to say that? Like, you know a lot better than me.
Yeah.
Like, I almost felt like I was almost, I don't know. I felt like I had to say something to him about what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He quoted the black community, one in which he lives in.
Right.
And then I don't think you're allowed to say that. And then immediately upon saying that, I'm like, I feel like JB knows better than me on what he's allowed to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But also, I've seen people get the G-Pass to say some things, and it's not an internationally known thing.
No.
And I've seen that particular guy get his ass beat.
I bet.
Same city, different party for the things. But I think JB is legitimately, at this point, I believe it is an international league. Yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't know. That is interesting. We will have to talk to him about it, though.
Yep. And we'll put his feet to the fire. We'll hold him accountable.
You're goddamn right we will, just like we did live.
That's right.
But then as it was happening, I was almost like, I feel like he knows better than I do. But I got to say something here because that's kind of fucked up. It is my show, my platform. But we'll fucking put his feet.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what we do around here. Just because we do it in a different fashion, I mean, that should not be disrespected. You know what I mean?
It's reinventing the game. That's fine.
Bingo. Like, I could just ask the hardest questions of all time to every person and just get a clip out of them. I can do the Helwani interview experience.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I have no idea how he does that, by the way. The amount of courage that takes from somebody just to say, okay, here's a list of all the terrible things that you've been a part of. I'm going to ask about every single one of them. But then Ariel, that's why he is Journalist of the Year every single year. Though. That's not easy. That is
Well, and that's why, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you can't be a buttoned-up journalist all the time, and then at other times, like, kind of, you know what I mean? It's like it's one or the other. Like, once you go down that path, you can't really get back into like what we do. Like, it doesn't work that way.
I would like everybody to know, though, that I take a lot of pride in the fact that our show has a voice from Compton, South Florida, literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's going to be some things that happen that make us all go, whoa, 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 whoa. But I like that we've become a forum for people to feel very comfortable to speak about. And I think we've introduced a lot of people to a lot of people that they maybe never would have encountered in their entire life.
For sure.
So I'm proud of that.
Sweet.
You should be.
I want everybody to know I'm very proud of that.
Exactly.
There were some people tweeting me, and I want them to know, fuck off. I'm very proud of the fact. Now, granted, I feel like I did address it immediately.
Yeah. Stopped him.
But we're going to have to do that. What's going on back there? You guys all right? What's going on? Zito and Nick are giving each other eyeballs back here.
He jumped the fuck off.
Oh, okay, good.
By
All
the
right.
way, fuck off. I saw that scumbag try to say that you avoided him when he was hiding behind a group of people on Friday night.
Yeah, so Ariel was in row 10. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was zoomed in on that video. You guys saw through the people.
So he wanted you to walk through the crowd to like come find him, or what?
I actually did, by the way, after.
Yeah, you did.
I completely forgot he was there, to be honest. He had a pretty good spot right there, too, for his kids to see everybody as they came down. It was actually pretty good. But where I was sitting, I couldn't see him because he was behind the Barstool folks.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing them. And then, you know, there were some other people there as well. John Skipper was there.
Really?
Oh, Skip.
Formerly of DAZN. Now with Meadowlark Media, he was there. Nick Wright was there of Fox Sports.
Of course.
There was a couple Ringer people there. Connor Shell, formerly of ESPN. Now he runs his own studio or something like that. He was there. I think the head of Comcast was there. A couple of venture capitalist people were there.
What? Wow. Who's who?
I was looking around in the middle of that show, and I was like, God damn, there is a lot of money in this building.
Yeah.
A lot of money. The Barstool dudes and Erica were so cool. It was so good to see. I haven't seen him in so long. Saw the Rocket. Got a chance to say what's up to him. Trent, great to see him as well. Robbie Fox fucking doing it. Got to meet his girlfriend. I've only seen her on the internet. Congrats to him. Brandon Walker, what a fucking electric factory. I saw him at SummerSlam, and he just flipped me off.
Oh, yeah. Was he filming something, too?
We both started laughing. Yeah, I saw him backstage as well at SummerSlam. Yeah, it was, and Erica was obviously there. It was nice to see everybody. Logan Swain was there.
Oh, good guy.
He's the director of content, I think, for Volume Sports.
Yep.
Formerly of DAZN. Ryan Brumley was there.
Brumley.
Oh,
The
yeah.
king.
Everybody came up to us though and was like, "How you guys doing? You know, everybody good?" And we had to tell everybody like, "Hey, we like all you guys."
Yeah.
There was a lot of scared conversations, I think, with me on Friday. It was
What would
crazy.
make them ever believe
There
that?
were.
Huh?
What would make them ever believe that?
Who?
Those people that we didn't like them.
It wasn't with. By the way, I would like to let everybody know nothing but love with the Barstool folks, but everybody else we had potentially done business with where it did not end up necessarily as fantastic for either side. You know, I think they were all a little bit alarmed to come say hello, but then once they did, it was like, man, we got no fucking beef. See you later. You're doing great. We're doing great. Let's just keep it moving. It was awesome seeing everybody. Madison Square Garden on September 10th, the eve of the anniversary, in the middle of Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan. It's just, you don't get a chance to experience that a lot. It was fucking electrifying. That is, by the way, that was the original McMahon territory, was New York City. Madison Square Garden was like the original WWWF, whenever it was way back in the day, and then it's grown there. 14,425 people. That place was electrifying.
Very loud.
There's also a theater there.
Yeah.
Really?
That has 5,600 seats. I guess it's like a pretty famous theater where like people start there and then they go upstairs is what they say. I watched a Lomachenko fight there, I think. Is that his name?
Yeah, there's a, yeah.
Lomachenko, I think. I watched Heisman weekend. He was fighting. I went to a fight and it was in that theater, I think. And it was really, I didn't know where the hell I was. We had to get COVID tested there, sit there for like 15, 20 minutes. And as I was sitting there, I was looking around. I was like, we should rent this fucking place out.
Yeah,
How much
that
is
was
this
cool.
place? It was awesome. Big stage though, so
Really?
we'd have to get Red Panda in there. We'd have to get some maybe Pastrana doing some
Yeah.
bad.
Here
I mean,
we
it's
go.
a big
It was
stage.
cool. Not a bad seat in that entire theater right there.
By the way, a lot of love in New York. We appreciate you
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Appreciate you all so much over there. Once again, this is that thing where I don't really leave my my premises.
Sure.
The bubble.
So I don't really see a lot of people. This weekend I got to do a lot of it. One got dollar slice of pizza immediately upon getting out of the car. There was a bunch of people. It was really, really cool.
We were talking, though. It felt good to be back in New York.
It did. I guess it's only like 25 or 30% of them people that it normally has. It's back. It feels packed.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
that place.
it feels absolutely packed. It is. It was great to get back in there and get the energy of there. We stopped by an Irish pub on the way out. Nog, T-O space N-A space N-O-G. I don't know. It's Gaelic for something.
Yeah.
We met the owner, Tony. Okay, he was very Irish, great accent. And the bartender, Ashley's boyfriend, she was from Ireland, boyfriend from Ireland, forces her to listen to our show every morning.
Nice.
Was it Tirnanog?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Tiernanog.
Tiernanog, yeah.
Ah.
Maybe that was it there. Yeah, it was beautiful. This place was gorgeous.
Very nice. Ooh, 4.3 on Google.
It's very nice. Very nice. We had a good Stella in there, a quick Stella. Had a quick meeting with some of the people, a quick handshake, cleaned some things up because the traffic was insane to get out of there. But as soon as we walked in, we didn't know if it was social distancing because the way people were sitting or what was going on. So literally tried to get the attention of the bartender, and she with her Irish, I know who you are. Sit wherever. Like literally as soon as sit wherever. And then she started telling the owner about it. It was very cool to experience that though. Never happened before. So I appreciate everybody. I want to let everybody know I fucking appreciate everybody. Foxy
you
even
guys.
got recognized by some people.
Yep.
I mean, that's when you know.
That's awesome.
That's when you know.
That's when you know. Nick got recognized over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hell yeah.
Big old negative Nick got recognized over there. It was a pretty cool moment. Nick obviously hated it, but I enjoyed it.
Of course.
It was, get out of my face, nerd.
I actually had someone come up to me and go, hey, fucking Buccaneers last night. I hammered your super boost. And I
yeah.
said, I'm sorry, pal.
Yeah.
We all did.
We all did. But it was a free bet, hopefully.
No one knew it was coming.
And I lost all of my money as well.
That's gambling, baby.
Till tonight.
Who we got tonight? We'll watch Hammer Down 15 minutes after this show ends to figure out who we're betting on. Let's go to Smokehouse in Chicago. Last call of the day on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. What's going on, Smokehouse?
How you doing, Pat?
Not too shabby. I like to call my house the Smokehouse every once in a while. Delta 8.
Absolutely. It's all about the vitamins THNC. So with that, before I get into my phone call,
shout out your mother, the state, Sally McAfee. I believe it's her birthday tomorrow. Happy early birthday to your mother.
Fascinating that you know that, by the way. Fascinating that you know that. I do appreciate it.
Long-time listener.
Okay.
Long-time listener.
Okay,
Pat.
that is very impressive. By the way, it is Sally's birthday tomorrow.
Nice.
Hey. Happy birthday, Sally. She is a saint.
Happy birthday.
I
Sally.
hope everybody continues to treat her that way. That's part of our family. What do you want to talk about, Smokehouse?
Well, I want to thank you for that FanDuel's fantastic plays that we got on Thursday, because I wound up winning $10 on the free fantasy plays, so thank you for that.
$10.
That baby Smokehouse.
Hey, that's 10 slices of pizza.
Hey,
in
for
New York.
free $10 bucks, I'll take it.
Hey, bingo.
But I got a same-game parlay strategy that might be able to get you out of this week one funk that you're in, Pat.
Okay.
What I've been doing is I've been kind of taking a fantasy football outlook to it and just finding 3 guys in the game that are going to score touchdowns and then pick the money line winner. You'll get those odds at plus 600, plus 700. I hit 2 last weekend or this past weekend for well over $100 each.
Smokehouse, I love your gambling style. The anytime touchdown scorer is a great way to prop up some parlays, especially with how much scoring is happening now. And the offenses that are going to score, aside from the Packers, it feels like Gronk got 2, AB got 1. Like, you look around the NFL, Travis Kelce scored 2, Tyreek Hill scored 1. It looks like there are some names that you know are big names for, like for instance, Odell Beckham's coming back this week.
Yes.
Let's assume Odell Beckham's going to end up in the end zone. Chubb's probably going to end up in the end zone. That's a good way to build up your parlays if you like it. Connor's been on this heavily since it was introduced, and you get some really beautiful odds in that thing.
Yeah, like last night with Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson is the 3 for the Rams, and he was plus 600. So I was like, all right, they're going to be slinging the rock with Stafford. You got to assume he's going to have at least 1 or 2 chances, and he ripped off that first big one. Then you throw in a Cooper Kupp or a Robert Woods who you know is going to get in the end zone, and maybe you get lucky and you figure one out and you hit 1 or 2.
Sally McAfee just texted me and said, ha, 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 this guy. So I don't know if she's appreciative or...
He seems nice, but definitely put him on a list for sure.
No, I like Smokehouse. Smokehouse in Chicago. And,
good guy.
We'll listen to more parlay ideas and bets for tonight at Hammer Down 15 minutes from now.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight, the spread... Oh, yeah. I mean, Connor hit for 1800, bro.
Let's go.
1300, sorry about that.
Got a good one for tonight.
I had one for Sunday that was 400,000 I could have won.
Whoa.
Who blew it?
Everybody on it. Baltimore Ravens -4 tonight. Raiders at home +4. Fascinating. Opening a stadium over there on Monday Night Football. John Gruden is Monday Night Football. The stadium's opened up there. I've been there. They're not going to be able to serve enough food and drinks to anybody. They will probably have to shut that down. So look for the Raider Nation to be frustrated about halfway through that game when that stadium potentially botches it. It's going to take them 4 hours to get to the stadium. Getting out of the stadium is going to be another 5 hours. I think that Raiders at home getting 4 is fascinating. I think that is very fascinating, especially because early in the season, the Raiders win a lot of games that none of us expect them to, but they are going against Lamar Jackson. So that's literally what you have to think about, and a defense without Marcus Peters now that is, an aggressive defense, a hungry defense, and Harbaugh is damn near undefeated as a coach in opening games. I mean, they win.
He's 10-3 ATS in week 1, the most profitable coach in openers since 2003. The last 4 years, week 1, they've won 38-6, 59-10, 47-3, and 20-0.
So what does that mean? We don't know. We'll let the Hammer Down boys figure that out for us in about 15 minutes. From all of us to all of you, thank you so much for everything. You're the greatest humans of all time. We're putting together like a reel right now, trying to showcase, and by real I mean on Instagram, not in like for business purposes, just to say thank you because of what we've been able to accomplish just over the last couple of days, last couple of years. We are so grateful. Let's continue to fucking run this thing here. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is tomorrow. Woo! Be a friend, tell a friend. That should get fascinating. I think we have Patrick Cantley on tomorrow as well.
Oh, hey.
I think so.
Ryder Cup right around the corner.
We don't know. This has happened a couple times in the past where somebody's allegedly coming on, then day of they can't come on for whatever reason. But tomorrow's going to be packed to the gills, I believe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We could never do any of this without you. Thank you so much for allowing us to penetrate your eye holes and your ear holes. Be a friend, tell a friend. Cheers.